3, 2.
Welcome to ESN, the eSport Network. Sugar Steve Roswick here with J Money Jason Anderson, and we're back at Volusia County for the Racing for Grady 150. And we are very happy to be part of this event, Racing for a Great Cause. And for those of you who caught the first half of that interview yesterday and haven't seen it in its entirety yet, the second half of that interview will be in between these two races, so it'll be right after these last chance qualifiers and before our 150-lap main event here at Volusia County. So, Jay Money, yesterday we saw a lot of great racing. We saw a lot of drivers race all the way through the heats, the mains, and then they fell short. And they had to do it again. They had to race through more heats and more mains, and they had to get through, and they didn't get locked in. And some of these drivers are back for a third time trying to race their way in. This is their last opportunity to get into the main event. And we've got a lot of frustrated drivers here. I'm looking at not only one, but two of the Cranmers. That's Preston Cranmer and Mike Cranmer. Both of those drivers were very fast yesterday, all night. But they had a real bad case of the bad lucks. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Basically, every time there was an incident, they just so happened to be there, nowhere to go, and they get caught up. A very rough night for both of them, hoping for some redemption here in this LCQ event. Look, we've got a lot of drivers. Only 8 are going to be able to transfer in to the main. And yesterday, when I realized that we had 8 transferring from an LCQ, I was like, oh, that's good. That's a lot of drivers. But now that I'm seeing all the drivers here trying to make it, that's not a lot of drivers. We've got about 30 drivers here going for 8 spots. And it's going to be a tough call because we've got a lot of fast drivers in this race. We've got Cody Castleman, Kyle Moonen, Lance Ripka, Dan Blau, Tyler Berry, Chase Hess. All of those drivers were very fast yesterday, all day. GJ Boydell, both of the Cranmers. I'm telling you, we've got a stacked field here in a last chance qualifier, J Money. This is going to be high stakes racing.
Oh, high stakes for sure. I mean, this is going to be a great group of guys to turn out there because, they were already fast. We were watching these guys. All of them had standout moments. You know, all the guys that were especially here last night had standout moments. They were either up front, leading the race, making passes. They all had... I mean, there was no one that I saw that was like a backfield marker the whole night. Like, no one stood out as, well, that guy might as well pack it up. Like, no, there wasn't anyone like that. This is all, I mean, I was really surprised with how many top-tier drivers we had for this whole event. It's really awesome to see all those drivers, you know, holding their own out there. So we know that all of these guys got speed. And then on the flip side of that coin, everyone's like hungry for this. Everyone, like, I look for the aggression to be even more. This is it. This is your last chance qualifier. This is your last chance to make the show. So this is, you know, I think I used the term like checkers or wreckers yesterday. Well, now that term is like cashed in. That's seriously checkers or wreckers at this point.
Well, and I tell you what, this is a big event. I mean, we've had so many different qualifying races to try to make it in. It's like the Chili Bowl or the Knoxville Nationals. I mean, we've had 10 or 11 heats. We've had 8 or 9 different main races here trying to make it through. And this is our last chance. We're probably going to do 3 or 4 more heat races and a couple of mains to try to figure out which 8 drivers will get through. And you're right, Jay Money. There hasn't been any quote unquote field filler drivers. These are all quality standout drivers. And all of them have been very fast at some point, just struggling with different issues. We saw, some just the other day on ESN, one of our drivers had to drop out of a race because his laptop was overheating, which is a real life overheating problem, but that affected his race results. And given the different variables and how close this racing is, Jay Money, with the fixed setup, any little bit is going to spread this field out and going to make you have a bad day. So you could be only 0.2 off and be having a bad day. So very close. But I tell you what, Jay Money, if you're looking for other racers that enjoy racing without all the drama and the name calling of normal iRacing, come out and join G-Force Racing Leagues. We have 20 divisions that race Sunday to Friday and currently broadcast about 4 divisions. Members know that they are part of something bigger than just the on-track experience. Go to gforcerl.com. That's gforcerl.com. Click apply and join in on the action. The cars are virtual, J Money, but the racing is real. G-Force Racing Leagues. Go check it out.
Yeah, that's something that's that hits it on the head. I mean, when you start racing in these leagues and not just kind of the public open, races that you get every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. When you start getting to know guys and you're racing around these guys, it really changes the experience. So for everyone that's either outside of iRacing, haven't tried it yet, thinking about taking the plunge, or anyone that's just got into iRacing and you haven't done the league racing yet, don't be scared of that. Getting to know these guys and going into these leagues and starting to get into that clique, that group, it really sets it apart. And it's honestly the closest thing you're going to get to that Saturday night track group of friends that you probably don't have right now. So I say go for it, try it out, see what you think.
Well, and to pile on what you just said, if we have anyone watching right now who is an iRacing member, and maybe you're a new member and you've done a couple of those iRacing official races and it's been frustrating experience, you're missing out on the best part of iRacing, and that is the league races. So you want to find yourself a nice league, find a car, a track combination you like, join that league, you will have a way better time. So J Money, we're getting ready to grid up here for heat number 1. And heat number 1, we've got about 3 or 4 heats planned for tonight. Again, we're going racing here at Volusia. It's the Racing for Grady 150. This is the LCQ. This is their last chance, and this is their first heat. If they can finish in the top 3 of this heat, they're going to transfer directly to the final LCQ. That'll be the A main of this LCQ. So these drivers want to finish in the top 3. Now, fun fact, this is an 8-lap race, but they inverted the top 4. So the fastest driver will be starting in 4th. The 4th fastest will be starting in 1st. And that'll be for all the heats here tonight. So the first heat is going to look like this, J Money. Tom Taylor, not the toolman Tim Taylor, but Tom Taylor, his possible brother, will be starting on the pole there in the number 14 car. And Dan Blau in the number 17 will be starting on the outside of row 1. Lance Ripka will be starting in that 3rd position. And 4th will be Joe Halter in the 22. Kevin Fry will be in the number 21 car starting in 5th. 6th will be Chris Schaefer. 7th will be Roger Craig. 8th, Gary Taylor. 9th, Donald Dory, and 10th will be Sugar Steve, not in the house. He is in the broadcast booth. Sorry to disappoint you, fans. I will not be racing tonight, but I will be broadcasting. And so 9 cars in this first heat. And here's the thing, J Money. I'm looking Roger Craig, Joe Halter, Lance Ripka, Dan Blau, Tom Taylor, all of those drivers so fast yesterday. Roger Craig was very fast yesterday, but he got crashed about 72 times. Yeah. I don't think he was able to get through a race without getting some damage. He just had very bad luck. And when you're racing here on dirt and the field is this close, things are going to happen. And I bet you they're going to happen here again tonight because, like you said, we're amping it up. This is the LCQ, the last chance for these drivers to make it in. I know I've said that 3 times. That was the 4th. I will say it a 5th, 6th, and 7th. So keep your ears open and your drinks ready. We're rolling off here and getting ready for this first heat. So what do you think, J Money? We saw a bunch of heats yesterday. These drivers participated in some of those heats. We know that aggression, you got to be aggressive. These cars are so close. This field is so close that you've got to make moves, as you would say, big money moves, and you got to make them quick.
Yeah, well, you got to be careful. What we realize is how hard it is to gain that track position after what I'll call a whoopsie. If you make a whoopsie out here, you're not getting a caution flag in a heat race. So you need to be making money moves, but they got to be precise, exact, perfect money moves. You don't want to risk it to biscuit because the risk is high. If you get up into the wall, you get spun around with another guy, you're gonna be to the back of these things. And this is not the night that you want to be going through all the consolation races. I mean, you want to get up there now, get your 3rd, run a good clean race, go straight to that A main, and then race your way into tonight's main feature.
Yeah, and the other thing too, J Money, to back up what you just said, no caution flags in these heat races. So if you get into trouble, you will not be saved. If you lose any ground, you're not going to get it back up. So these heat races go quick. We're about to start one right now. Pace truck about to pull on pit road. Tom Taylor, Dan Blau, going to be your front row. Green flag in the air. We are racing here at Volusia, heat race number 1, as they go piling into turn number 1 on the bottom. It is Tom Taylor on the top. It's Dan Blau. They're still 2 by 2 as they go down the back straightaway.
Oh yeah, these guys. This is what I'm talking about. No one was checking up, leaving any extra room. They were driving it in there deep into 3. And that's one of the treacherous turns to do it. Especially as tonight goes on, you're going to see turn 2 really get some holes in it once this track starts drying out.
I was about to say, watch out for our fans at home right now in turns 1 and 2. Things look nice and smooth, but here after a while, it is going to be a almost like one of those stadium truck Baja races where they're going over the jumps and everything. It's going to get nuts down there in 1 and 2 as this track degrades. But right now the track is looking slick, and out front it's Dan Blau in the number 17. Joe Halter slotted in second right now, and third going to be Tom Taylor as they cross the line. And Joe Halter looking fast. Remember, yesterday Joe Halter was flipping upside down in turn 4, had a very rough accident. Looks like they were able to get the car back together because it's running fine right now.
Yeah. No, see, this is exactly what I meant by everyone's being safe right now. So, yeah, I mean, the track is still fresh, still tacky, so they can kind of drive wherever they want to go. But it looks like these guys aren't wanting to do anything too gnarly just yet because they know, I really expected everyone from about 5th on back to really try to mix it up. But everyone's playing it safe. They don't want to be the car flips it around, gets stuck in behind, and loses some laps on a heat race.
That's absolutely right. Now, this heat race going by quick, just 2 to go at the line here. Dan Blau still out front, then Joe Halter and Lance Ripka. Those drivers are safe. They are locked in to get to the A if it were to end right now, but they still got a couple of laps to go to finalize that as Tom Taylor in 4th. He is a little ways behind as that field is stacked up behind Taylor, but Lance Ripka way up the track as the white flag is in the air just one more time around as they go through the back straightaway here. J Money, I got to tell you, I don't think much is going to change up front as they go down into 3 and 4. It's Dan Blau, Joe Halter, and Lance Ripka at the line. That is exactly how it will be. Those 3 drivers going to transfer to the main. Tom Taylor, Kevin Fry, Roger Craig, Chris Schaefer, Gary Taylor, Donald Dory. J Money, those drivers got to keep racing.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a long night for these guys. Some of these guys, they've already raced all night last night, and they're about to start it all up again.
Well, you know what, J Money? The Spartan Racing team features drivers from parts of the U.S. and Canada. They compete with the mostly on dirt side of iRacing, and this team runs in multiple leagues with the G-Force Racing. Leagues bring their weekly league over to the past few seasons. Go on to Spartan Racing on Facebook and follow them. That is Spartan Racing. They're a big part of this, and we want to thank them for being a partner here. So check out Spartan Racing on Facebook and check out what they do. And we're rolling out here for heat race number 2. And on the pole, going to be Bill Richardson in the 129 car. On the outside, going to be the 69 of Aiden Young. Tyler Berry, the 500 car. That's our ESN dirt driver. This is about his 17th race of this event, and he's hoping to transfer to the top 3 right here and now. Let's see if he could do it. 500, Tyler Berry starts 3rd. Kyle Moonen, another fast driver, is in that 24 car. He starts 4th. He's another one that wants to transfer in. He's had some rough luck. Chase Hess in the 767, that pink and white car. We saw him digging yesterday, just like an archaeologist would. And I tell you what, he got deep and low. Unfortunately, that car ended up wadded up and didn't transfer through, but he's trying to do it here again. 767, Chase Hess starts in 5th. 6th going to be Mike Cranmer in the 70 car, then John Short in the number 51. Chris Whipple starts in the 8th position, and Bill Calder going to roll off in 9th. 9 cars, 8 laps, J Money. And things are getting interesting here. We have more cars tonight trying to make it in than we did have last night because we had 8-car heats yesterday. We're having 9-car heats today. These drivers won into the main real bad. And,
no, everyone's trying to see where they fit in.
Yeah, well, the pace truck on pit road. Green flag in the air in the 29 of Bill Richardson with a great jump on the bottom there. As here comes Aiden Young, though, on the top. Aiden Young going to get a big run on the back straightaway. And looks like Tyler Berry going to make a little contact with Bill Richardson on the back straightaway, and he's going to lose just a bit of momentum. And around in turn 4, we've got a crash back there. That was the 51 of John Short.
Yeah, I think that ended up collecting up Whipple, Cramner, and John Short, but John Short definitely getting the worst of it, and that's what I was talking about before that first heat. You don't want to be the guy who gets stuck like that, turned around. There's no caution that'll come out to save you. Oh, man, another one here with...
Yeah, we do. That's the 81 of Chris Whipple. And Bill Calder, who is still around on the front straightaway. That car heavily damaged. Here comes the field at full speed. Oh, man. Chase Hess going to get a clip there, but he is going to keep digging. Holy cow, that was a tight moment on the front straightaway for our leaders.
I tell you what, Chris Hess can't get a break. Not yesterday and not today. He's already having to white knuckle steer that thing through some carnage here. Aiden Young doing a real good job. He's picking up right where he left off last night. He had a lot of speed, just didn't quite, get into that position he needed, but he's got a lot of speed out here tonight. Definitely leading the pack here with just coming around to 3 to go.
Well, I tell you what, if I was in this front 3 right now, I would just sit and wait until the checkered flags flew. Tyler Berry in 3rd is safe. He has no pressure from behind. Bill Richardson in the 29, quite a ways back there. So these 3 drivers, no need to be too aggressive. We've seen enough chaos in this heat race for one night. So let's bring it home in one piece. Transfer straight through. These 3 drivers need to transfer through. They have been racing for the past 2 days, and they've been very fast. They should be happy just to transfer through.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah, they're doing a real good job. But I'm telling you, it looks like they're putting the heat on each other still. But I don't know if that's like kind of helping them separate from the field or if that's just, the dog chasing the rabbit kind of thing here.
Well, it could be a dog chasing a rabbit. It could just be 3 drivers trying to dig to the front. But checkered flag in the air for this heat race. It's going to be Aiden Young at the line, Kyle Moonen 2nd, Tyler Berry in 3rd. Those 3 drivers will transfer through. And I can tell you what, no 3 other drivers needed it more than Aiden Young, Kyle Moonen, and Tyler Berry because they have had some rough luck. So possibly some extra confidence for these 3 drivers moving in. So those 3 will continue on. And Bill Richardson, Chase Hess, Mike Cranmer, John Short, Bill Calder, Chris Whipple, those drivers will have to continue racing to try to make it in. Heat number 3 getting ready to grid up here. Hey, J Money.
What's up?
Have you heard of Icon Sim Sports? Icon Sim Sports goes for a championship trophy and $25 in iRacing credits. Icon Sim Sports aims to bring the sim racing community a one-of-a-kind fixed chassis experience like no other, while exemplifying extraordinary customer service to its patrons. It sounds like you want to check out Icon Sim Sports if you want to do some great racing, J Money. And speaking of great racing, we've got cars on track right now for heat race number 3. And up front, it's going to be Steve Fernberg in that 29 car. Steve Fernberg was another driver who was fast yesterday, but just didn't have very good luck. And John Rayner going to start in 2nd. Brennan Weeks going to roll off in 3rd. Jeffrey Kemper in 4th. Terry Landis in that number 661 going to roll off in 5th. And Cody Castleman in 6th. 7th going to be Preston Cranmer. 8th going to be Barry Goldner. 9th going to be GJ Boydell. We have a lot of familiar names in this race. And again, we need these drivers. These drivers have all struggled for the past couple of days, and they need a nice turnaround here. And I tell you what, J Money, we've got some fast drivers in this field. We've got fast drivers deep in this field. Starting shotgun is GJ Boydell. Remember, he was battling for the lead in the B main just last night.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of heat. Terry Landis was definitely a standout driver up front at one point battling for the lead. So, yeah, a lot of fast guys. I mean, this whole field right here is pretty stacked. I don't know how they ended up in a 3rd heat, but, here it is.
Green flag in the air, and we are racing. Heat number 3 is rolling, and a good jump on the inside there by Steven Fernberg. He is going to get a lane choice going into 1. On the bottom, it's the 22 of Brennan Weeks, who got a good start. But they are really battling back there. The 181's going to get together with GJ Boydell. That was Jeffrey Kemper and GJ Boydell got together.
I don't know how they kept that thing straight, though. That's some heads-up driving right there to keep those things moving and staying in on the fight.
Yeah, I tell you what, I thought that was a crash waiting to happen. How they were able to gather that back up is beyond me. But up at the front of the field, Brennan Weeks putting some pressure on Steven Fernberg as they go down into turn number 1. Brennan Weeks wants to steal that lead away. And Brennan Weeks, a new face here. He was not racing with us last night. So Brennan Weeks wants to do a little less. He doesn't want to put the mileage on his race motor that these other drivers have. He wants to go straight to the A.
Tell you what, we just we ended up going back and seeing Preston Cranmer get turned around here. So slow start for him in this heat race.
And he's another driver I was talking about, very fast. He needs to have some good luck here as our leader's going to work around some slow traffic on the front straightaway. That was a close call for just a second. They worked around that number 10 car, I believe. That was John Rayner. I'm sorry. Yeah. That was John Rayner in the 10 car going a lap down there. But a close moment for our leaders as they work by. Now, we're working lap 6, just a handful of laps to go. It's Steven Fernberg up front, Brendan Weeks in second, then Terry Landis in that transfer spot. Those 3 drivers are safe right now. Cody Castleman has wheeled his way up into that 4th position. And 5th going to be G.J. Boydell, who has worked his way up past Castleman now. We'll see if he could get a good run here. He crashed on the first lap. Not sure how he is up there battling for a top 5.
Yeah, I tell you, that's going to be another guy that's just got bad luck for 2 nights in a row here. He's going to be, unfortunately, unless a miracle happens on the last lap, he's going to be running these C mains and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out for him.
Well, the white flag in the air for this 3rd heat, and to the bottom goes Brendan Weeks on our leader. We'll see who gets turned to the drag race. It's to the line. Steven Fernberg going to win. And Brendan Weeks going to finish 2nd. Terry Landis going to finish 3rd. Those 3 drivers are safe. Cody Castleman, G.J. Boydell, Barry Goldner, Jeff Kemper, Preston Kramer, John Rayner. Those drivers will have to continue on with the event. And it looks to me like we have got a B main here, J Money, a B main getting ready to grid up. And we have got 19 cars. And 15 of these drivers will move on to the A, but we will eliminate a handful of drivers here. So somebody is going to have a rough night. We're eliminating drivers right now. And hey, J Money, you know, when I was talking to you about Icon Sim Sports and how they do all that awesome stuff, but imagine having a sim racing chassis built specifically for you, a custom chassis engineered to accommodate you and your needs while replicating the look, feel, and design of a real race car. Doesn't that sound awesome?
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, check out iconsimsports.com to find your custom chassis. That sounds pretty cool. I'm going to have to dial that up on a commercial break, but I don't have time right now. I'm working, and these drivers are about to go to work here in the B main. I got to say, for me, this stands out. I'm seeing 19 cars on track, and 15 of those drivers will transfer through, which means you just got to keep your nose clean. You got to stay nice and smooth, because here's the thing. This is a short race, only 10 laps, only 2 laps more than those heat races. So not a lot of time to get to the front. So if you're starting up front, I'd say take it easy, to be nice and smooth. You're safe. If you're back there around 13th, back to 19th, you got to get moving forward because you're in danger. So we'll see how they work it. But right now they're on track rolling. Tom Taylor going to start on the pole. Bill Richardson will start in 2nd. Cody Castleman is going to roll off 3rd. Kevin Fry will start in 4th. Chase Hess, the number 767, will roll off in 5th. And G.J. Boydell will start in 6th. Roger Craig going to roll off 7th. 8th going to be Mike Cranmer. 9th going to be Barry Goldner, and 10th will be Chris Schaefer. John Short starts 11th. Jeff Kemper starts 12th. Gary Taylor rolls off 13th. Bill Calder will be in that 14th spot. Preston Cranmer, Donald Dory, Chris Whipple, John Rayner, and myself. I guess I'm missing out on the B main here. I made it to the B main. I guess that's the highlight of my evening. But hey, yeah. These drivers getting ready to roll off 10 laps, J Money. Do you think they've got enough time?
Oh, yeah, they got time for sure. I mean, everyone's going to kind of mix it up. The thing is, this is another one, you got to have a clean race here because you don't want to be the one that loses this.
Well, green flag in the air. We'll see 10 laps to decide it. 15 of these drivers will transfer, and they're already bumping at the front. Big contact there. Bill Richardson gets sideways in front of the field. Everybody checks up. He's going to get back in line, but that will shake things up here at the front.
Oh, man, they're still digging in here. It's turning into bumper cars coming out of 4 right here. Oh, up against the wall. And they're going to keep it straight.
These drivers are the safe drivers. They don't have to be driving like this. They're up above the cut line here.
I think that's maybe Gary Taylor. They got the worst out of that whole thing. Back and forth into each other. Holy camoly. Barry Goldner up off the wall, gonna tow it. So he is not looking too hot for this to make it out of this race here.
Oh yeah, we've seen some big action here. Barry Goldner in the 36 gets, oh man, that was a real hard hit over there in 3 and 4, and he will collect the 34 car. So they're going to keep digging around this track, and we're working about halfway through. And man, some of these drivers have, we've got a lot of damaged cars out here, and 15 will transfer. So as long as you can keep that thing running, I guess you're good to go.
Yeah, they got a chance to make the A main here, but you definitely do want a good solid finish here because I'm assuming that transfer's over. Yeah, I mean, look at Chase Hess. We've been saying he's been having bad luck all night. He's up here in second in the B main, looking real hot. He's getting some good laps in. We'll see if he can hold that and transfer that on. Oh, looks like Gary Taylor might have got another hit in here.
Well, I tell you what, back here around the cut line, I'm looking at 15th of Chris Schaefer. He is the last car on the bubble spot. That car has serious damage as he tries to limp it around the track. The car behind him is Bill Calder, and Bill Calder is about to get lapped right now in front of our leader. So things are dicing up here as we get close to the end of this race.
Yeah, no, Kevin Fry here in the 21 out of Texas. Oh, he's gonna clip him, and that's gonna send him into the wall.
And he's gonna go back down in front of traffic and collect several of our lead cars.
Oh my God!
What you doing, Bill?
Almighty.
Bill.
Oh no.
Well, up at the front now, Chase Hess trying to get the lead away from the now damaged car of Kevin Fry. And this is the white flag right here. This will decide it. One more to go around here at Volusia County for this B main. The top 15 will transfer through. Chase Hess to the bottom. Kevin Fry on the top. Out of turn number 4 to the line. Kevin Fry will win. And Chase Hess going to be second. Tom Taylor third. Cody Castleman in fourth. Preston Cranmer comes home in fifth. Roger Craig sixth. Seventh will be Jeffrey Kemper. Eighth, G.J. Boydell. Mike Cranmer, Chris Whipple, John Rayner, Donald Dory, John Short, Bill Richardson, and Chris Schaefer. Those drivers have transferred. Bill Calder, Gary Taylor, Barry Goldner have not transferred. And those three drivers, this is the end of the night for them, so very sorry. And that's the only unfortunate part of an event like this is you get a lot of great racing, but unfortunately some guys are not going to make it to the big show.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's unfortunate. Hey, there's always next year, there's always another race, to move on there. But, man, everyone was trying for sure. Everyone was going for it. All right, here we go. 5-minute warm-up before the next show here. I'm excited. I can't wait to see this last chance qualifier.
Well, I tell you what, J Money, I think we're going to have 24 starters in this last chance qualifier, and 8 drivers will make it through. Now, that sounds like fairly decent odds. If you think about it, a third of the field will be transferring in to the big show later tonight. But in the last race, in the B main, 85% of the field transferred through, but they were still racing like nobody was safe. Those drivers up in 6th, 7th, 8th position who were clearly safe were battling like it was the last lap, and some of those drivers ended up getting taken out of competition because of that. So look, this LCQ is going to be full of action. I can imagine it's going to be crazy because these drivers, this is their last, that's why they call it a last chance qualifier, ladies and gentlemen, is because it is your last chance to qualify in. So 8 drivers going to make it through. J Money, who do you have your eyes on?
Oh man, I think Chase Hess's name that keeps coming up because he's fast and he's just got a lot of bad luck. So I think if he can cash in on some good luck, he's definitely going to be looking hot up here. Look for him to be in that top 8. And Tyler Berry's always got a lot of speed. It's just kind of the same story. He kind of gets hung up around the wrong guys. I think if he could start up front and he doesn't have to work around traffic, it should be a solid shot for him to move on. Aiden Young in that 69 car, man, he's been hot all weekend. I don't know why he's here at a last chance qualifier. I feel like he should have been already locked into the feature here. But here he is, going to be a strong driver out here. There's not a whole lot of guys that stand out as someone that doesn't have a chance. So this is going to be a dogfight. Look for these guys bending it up, bending fenders and bending feelings out here tonight.
Well, I tell you, one driver who has no chance of making it through is the driver of that number 52 car, Sugar Steve Roswick. He's up here in the broadcast booth, so he won't be able to transfer through. That's the one driver I know won't make it. Everybody else has a pretty solid shot of transferring through. Now, J-Money, did you know that not only are these drivers racing for a good cause, a fundraiser here, but they're also racing for some prizes. And one of the prizes these drivers will be getting for winning is an awesome T-shirt courtesy of Coast to Coast Racing. Coast to Coast Sim Racing team it's an esports racing team that competes weekly in the G-Force Racing League. Now, the team is comprised of drivers from coast to coast in the U.S. and Canada, and they are very proud to be a part of this great fundraiser. Coast to Coast Sim Racing providing some of those shirts there for some of our winners tonight. So that's a great little swag gift, and happy to have Coast to Coast on board here tonight.
Oh yeah, no, it's always, you know what, I mean, yeah, if you get some of your money back in an event, that's always cool, but the swag is what really pops, you know. When you're winning stuff and you got trophies to show off, or you got shirts, you got merch, you got, you know, anything cool, like a keychain, hell, I mean, that's always fun to kind of jingle in front of people. Anything like that just always gives me a little bit more to brag about, I feel like. So it's really cool to see all these groups coming together, making the event fun, making the, you know, the event what it is, and also backing up Grady Chandler for this whole the whole God, what's that? Yeah, what's that word? Charity deal here. So a lot of good stuff, and I think this is just going to be an awesome show for all of this.
Well, it is going to be an awesome show. It's already been an awesome show. If you missed it, if you're just tuning in tonight for the first time, last night we had a whole night of action, qualifying races here on ESN for this event. If you missed it, you can check that out on Facebook, on YouTube. We've got it there. So those races last night led up to this. It's the culmination, and these drivers getting that one last opportunity here in this 5-minute warm-up before they race here at the main. It's going to be a big show for these drivers. 24 of them going to grid up and go out on this track, but only 8 of them will be safe for tonight. The rest of them will have to watch the Racing for Grady 150 live on ESN with the rest of us. So, J-Money, I think that this is going to be pretty crazy. This is a 50-lap race. Now, remember, the longest race that they've run tonight is a 10-lap B main, and some of those drivers didn't even race in that. So this will certainly be their longest run and the closest thing to a long-run practice they'll get before the 150-lap main tonight. So these drivers going to have to get some seat time and see how this track works, because look, we saw the track change a lot yesterday from that first heat to the last couple laps of the main, and this track is going to get dusty. Those ruts are going to come out. Those bumps in turns 1 and 2 will really change the dynamics of these cars, so keep an eye on that. Now, our starting grid for the last chance qualifier, J-Money, up front in that number 17, going to be Dan Blau. In second place, going to be Aiden Young in the 69 car. Those two drivers have been very strong all night long. Steven Fernberg in the 29 car going to start third, and Joe Halter going to roll off in that fourth position. Kyle Moonen going to start in fifth. Sixth going to be Brennan Weeks in the number 122. Lance Ripka going to start in the seventh position. Eighth going to be ESN's dirt driving native Tyler Berry in the 500 car. Terry Landis going to roll off in ninth, and Kevin Fry, your winner of the B main, will start in 10th. Chase Hess will start 11th. Tom Taylor 12th. Cody Castleman rolling off in 13th. Preston Cranmer will start 14th. Roger Craig in 15th. Jeffrey Kemper rolls off 16th. 17th, GJ Boydell, and Mike Cranmer going to roll off 18th. Chris Ripple starts in 19th. John Rayner starts 20th. Donald Dory rolls off 21st. 22nd will be John Short. Bill Richardson starts 23rd. And Chris Schaefer, your last driver to make it in here to the LCQ. These drivers at the back have a long way to go to the front, but I think that all of these drivers are so close on speed, every single one of them has a shot.
You know, just like the platoon sergeant said to us, 100 of you going out, only 50 of you coming back.
Yeah, that's this LCQ in a nutshell right here. 24 men enter, 8 leave.
The Thunderdome.
Welcome to the Thunderdome. Well, pace truck on the track. We are racing here at Volusia. Green flag in the air and down the front straightaway into turn one. And so far, so good for these hungry drivers as they battle door to door as they head down the back straightaway.
Ah, man, I just love the way the cars start out at Volusia. You know, that turn one is so wide. It lets you keep, you know, as wide as you want to go. 5 cars, hell, go for it. You know what? And the racing is just so hot down that backstretch, that arced backstretch. And here we go. We're looking at that outside really come together. Dan Blow's doing a real hard job. He's got a hard job fighting on the inside, especially as this track is starting to dry out. It's not as dry as the main was yesterday. We had a lot more cars, a lot more races going on it, so they still got a little bit more grip out there. But we'll see what happens as this race goes on here.
We have a caution flag on the track. The number 70 car of Mike Cranmer went around in turn 4, hit that outside wall with the nose. Don't know how serious the damage is to that car, but he is able to continue on. Oh, but the 23 car, who was that? The 23 of Chris Schaefer somehow got turned around and almost came up in front of Cranmer there. Oh, we had a big crash, a secondary crash over there. Cranmer went for a flip over in turn 1 and 2.
Oh, man, yeah, that was the 51 of John Schopp. Ended up getting into Schaefer there and rolled him over. And that was after the yellow came out, so... Oh, yeah, and then they had a car coming around fast, trying to catch back up to the field as Chris Bro Schaefer, my bro, man. And, man, that sucks that he kind of got the crap into that sandwich.
Yes, he did. The Bro 20. Oh, it says, does that say Bro 23 on the side?
No, where is it at? Where is he at?
I could have sworn when that thing went by, it said Bro 23.
Oh, no, I don't see that one on there. That'd have been awesome, though.
I'm telling you, it's there. I'm going to go back and take a look because this is...
Let me see. I'm going to update Trading Paints. Maybe we're still running on yesterday's paints for us here. So let me make sure.
It does. It says Bro 23 on the side of that car. So yeah. Chris Schaefer getting some hot tips from the ESN booth. That is dope. The number Bro 23 car of Chris Schaefer.
Well, that's why he's in the awesome. Back. He's been listening to us. Don't listen to us.
Listening, Chris. Listen to your gut.
Yeah, listen to your gut. Listen to your conscience. Don't listen to us. We never help anyone out.
Oh, man, that is an awesome little detail. Pace truck back on the pit road. Green flag in the air, and we are racing. Wow, great jump there by Aiden Young. He just cleared that field going into 1, and we'll see if he can keep that momentum, though. On the bottom, it's the 22 of Brennan Weeks. Weeks was very strong earlier tonight, and we'll see if he can continue on with that. Dan Blau has fallen back, and that's also Joe Halter back there as well, as the middle of this field, though, is just packed full of cars.
Yes. No, everyone is everywhere. There's literally nowhere to go. And this is the fun part where a good driver is going to be able to see that hole right before it opens up and dive in there. He's going to have that car. He's going to see that coming. Oh, 14 up in the wall here. But it looks like he's going to keep that. That was Tom Taylor. It looks like he's going to keep that thing running out here. Yeah, he's going to gather that back up. But a good driver is going to be able to anticipate when that hole's going to come up and already have his car set up and throttle right to fill that gap as soon as it opens up.
Well, I tell you what I'm thinking about is yesterday in that A main in the first part of the night. Remember, over in turn, that's Tyler Berry and Joe Halter coming together, coming out of turn 2. Neither one of those drivers, there is a caution. I'm not sure if it was for that or if it was for something else. That was, could have been.
That was the 81 of Chris Ripple getting together.
Oh, yeah, heavy contact on the front straightaway there.
Oh, man, J.G. Wentworth still having issues. I mean, G.J. Bodell still having issues here. Not having good luck, man. He's fast. He's got it where he needs it. He just can't get the luck he needs to seal the deal. I hate it for him, man.
Yeah, that is rough. He has been strong. We have seen him battling for the lead at points throughout this event, and here struggling at the back with damage now to that number 014 car, and he is going to bring it down pit road. That's G.J. Boydell. And as that crash happened on the front straightaway, J Money over in turn 2, Tyler Berry and Joe Halter made some pretty significant contact. Halter got all crossed up coming out of 2, and Tyler Berry had nowhere to go, hit him with a full head of steam. They continued on, but you got to wonder how much damage each one of those drivers has.
Yeah, I tell you what, we were just watching Tyler Berry. He just kind of rolled through the pits. He didn't stop, I don't think. So he lost all that track position. He's got to get some big gains. Hopefully that car isn't as beat up as he is. But he's going up against a field of awesome drivers and fast cars, man. I hate it. I hate it that, these guys... That's part of it, though, man. That's just racing, man. Everyone out here has got a chance to win this thing, and you got to keep it clean. Whatever you can do to minimize the damage and keep it going straight, that's what's going to get you, accelerating through these classes here tonight.
Well, I've got good news for you, J Money. Your boy Chris Schaefer in the Bro 23 car has picked up about 5 spots after that crash, so he's moving his way up. We'll keep an eye on him, but right now the pace truck about to pull off. Aiden Young, Dan Blau going to bring him down. Kyle Moon, Brendan Weeks in that second row. Green flag in the air, and we are racing here again at Volusia, and we're working lap 14 of 50, so still a long way to go here in this LCQ. Oh, yeah. They're pushing and shoving over there. That is Chase Hess, and he is going to go up in the wall. Big crash in turn 2. Multiple cars involved in that. That was Chase Hess and Bill Richardson got together, and that was the 23. The Bro 23, Tyler Berry got involved. And that blue car, that's Donald Dory. Looked more like a fender bender to me, J Money. Nobody hit terribly hard, but that's got to rattle. No, there's going to be a lot of steering wheels that aren't straight after that.
Yeah. No, I think, everyone was just kind of bouncing off of each other's tires, really. I mean, we had a couple guys get into the wall, but it was nothing hard. So I think they're still going to be good to go once we come back around. But I'm sorry for everyone. We had Trading Paints running, but I guess it didn't automatically update when we came in the server. So we got it fixed, though. Everyone's got, a couple guys got some pretty gnarly updates to their paint schemes already. I'm sure after racing all night last night, they had to rewrap these whole cars. There wasn't a straight fender lift on these things. So, a lot of good work. And especially to my bro, Chris Schaefer out here, who updated the side of that thing and put Bro on there. I don't know. Maybe Bro was on there before. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't see it yesterday. So if I said Bro 23 and it was already there, it's not something I saw. It's something I sensed,
Yeah, you just felt the aura.
I felt it, and that's what it was. But I'm hoping that he saw our broadcast yesterday and just went all out on that rap, working with his team to get it happening. He knew he was going to be on ESN. He's in the LCQ. Chris Schaefer knew he was going to get some good TV time tonight. So that Bro 23 car, look, he is back in this field, but he's got Chase Hess there back with him. Maybe the two of them can dig together to the front. In fact, the three, that's Tyler Berry, Chris Schaefer, and Chase Hess. Those 3 drivers will probably dig straight to the front of this field. We'll see. They still have a long, long way to go. 17 laps right now in the books. Green flag back in the air. Now it's lap 18. Aiden Young, really great on these restarts. He's going to get clean out in front. Dan Blau in second. That's the 24 car off the top side. Kyle Moonen as they go down the back straightaway. Down into 3, it's still Aiden Young out front, and the top 3 haven't changed much, but back in this field, this midfield is real tight as they are going 2 and 3 wide down into turn 1, and I can't pick one specific battle to watch right now, J Money, because they're all so tight.
No, man, I know. The big thing is to keep an eye around this bubble, and I'll tell you, there's about 4 cars just hovering around it. It's still anyone's game. No one is starting to pull away from anyone at this point. And I'll tell you what, Terry Landis is really starting to work in there. But Preston Kramer, he's finally got some good luck. He's up in there in the bubble, and someone gets moved out. Who was that?
That was the 29 of Steven Fernberg got bumped and moved out of the way by the 22 of Joe Halter. We'll see if he remembers that later on.
Yeah, you still got a long race ahead of you. You still needed some friends out there. I know we said it yesterday. I'm here to win, not make friends, but you're going to want a couple friends.
We've got another caution here, J Money.
Oh, Chris Whipple out here. Let's see what happened to him here.
Looks like, up on the high side, gets up into the and he will tip it over. Doesn't really flip, but he gets tipped over. Lands back on his tires, but a heavy contact to that outside wall in turn one.
Yeah. We got some of the holes out there causing issues, and then he hops up on the cushion, can't stop that thing. There's a section of the wall that comes out into the track for, whatever engineer's idea. It's probably for drainage, water issues. Maybe a fan couldn't see from a certain seat, so they just jutted the wall into the track because that made sense.
Well, back in 1982, that wall was straight. This is Volusia County we're talking about.
Yeah.
All those Florida tracks haven't been updated in a couple of years, but that's what gives them so much character. I think that if you go to a track like Orlando Speed World down there in Bithlo, Florida, I don't think that track's been redone since 1975. In fact, no joke, the same cleanup dune buggies that I watched as a kid in the 80s are still there to this day doing cleanup, dropping kitty litter and cleaning up oil. I don't know how everything, it's like a time capsule. Everything is still the same.
Everything's stuck there.
Well, right now the lights will be out on the pace car, and we're about to go back racing. Going to restart on lap 25. So we're about halfway through this A main, this final last chance qualifier. Aiden Young, Dan Blau going to restart up front. Kyle Moonen and Brendan Weeks will restart in that second row. The third row going to be Lance Ripka and Joe Halter. And the final safe row is Preston Kramer, Steven Fernberg. Those top 8 are safe right now. We'll see that transfer spot and how it progresses. Green flag back out in the air. We are racing again here in the LCQ for the Racing for Grady 150 here on ESN. We want to thank all of the partners. We want to thank GeForce Racing for putting this broadcast together and for putting this whole event. This is a great cause, and they're racing for a good cause. But I tell you what, they're racing hard for a good cause right now because they are still digging 2 and 3 wide. Oh! And again, Fernberg, that's Fernberg again. They are just using up Fernberg tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if he rubbed someone the wrong way or rubbed the whole field the wrong way last night, but he is not getting any benefits out here. But Chase Hess is actually another one who didn't have any luck here. He's going to, I think it's going to get turned around. Oh, the 121 or the 181 was already wrecking, and Chase Hess ended up getting involved. Come on, Chase. You got to dip dodge. You got to just jump the car over that stuff. I don't know what to tell you, brother, man. I wish I could give you better hands, but everyone is just working on hitting you for 2 nights in a row now.
I tell you what, for the tumble that Chase Hess just took, the car doesn't look so bad. Could be worse. So if you're watching right now, Chase, you've got a little body damage, but I think it's all cosmetic. If that wheel's straight, just keep on digging, bud. So on that last restart, J Money, Dan Blau missed out quite a bit because he restarted in second position and fell back to fourth. The big winner there was Kyle Moonen, who is now sitting in second. Aiden Young restarted and took the yellow in first place. So a little shake up here, but a big shake up here in your safe drivers. Preston Cranmer, Lance Ripka, Joe Halter, Kevin Fry now are safe. And then drivers like Roger Craig, Steven Fernberg, who were once safe, are now out. So earlier in the race, J Money, that's the thing. Earlier on in this race, you say there's a lot of racing to go. I can get there. Now we're past halfway. There's about 20 laps to go. And you're saying, okay, I'm in 21st position or I'm in 19th position and I've got to get up to 8th. So
yeah, I mean, look at these guys who are even just right out of the bubble. You got Terry Landis, John Short, Roger Craig, Cody Castleman, Steven Fernberg, and then, GJ Bodell. All these guys right up there around the bubble, and they got the speed to get up there.
Well, green flag back out into the air. Single file restart this time. They want to keep this crashing to a minimum. They did this last night as well. So this will kind of keep these drivers out of trouble, you would think. But these drivers will find trouble if they want to. So down into turn 3 and 4. And we see already these drivers 2 and 3 wide back there as they come off of turn number 4. And this pack of hungry cars, this is an angry hornet's nest right here around the transfer spot.
Yeah.
Caution flag. We've got another yellow on the track. Looks this time it might be Jeffrey Kemper in the 181. perhaps.
Oh, no, this is Tyler Berry got turned around here, and the 181 ended up getting into him. So Tyler Berry taking it to the pits here. He might, unfortunately, be done. He was really... That's unfortunate because he was really starting to rebound from that early incident. The damage or whatever he had at that point, he was really starting to rebound and work his way back up. So, yeah, tough break for Tyler Berry.
Yeah, Tyler Berry going to be out of this race. Unfortunately, will retire with the damage. That was a real solid hit he took from the 181 of Jeff Kemper. So, very hard hit. In fact, I'm surprised Jeffrey Kemper's still rolling out there. That I'm pretty sure that radiator should have been vaporized, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, hard licks all around.
So the lights are out on the pace car. Aiden Young out front. Kyle Moonen sitting in second. Brendan Weeks third. Dan Blau fourth. And Lance Ripka going to round out your top five. This will be another single file restart here. And oh no, the lights are not off on the pace truck. That was wishful thinking on my part. I was hoping we were going back racing, but we were not. Now, here's the thing, J Money. Did you know that NSM Wraps is a quickly growing wrap company? Started in April of 2020 as a hobby. It quickly grew from being just a few dirt and asphalt oval paints, and now our customer base has skyrocketed, and we now provide paints for all different series in iRacing. NSM Wraps take the great pride in their work and currently have 4 painters on staff, so turnaround times are quick. We have provided wraps from big-name customers in iRacing. Go to NSM Wraps for your next quality wrap, and those wraps on NSM, find them online and maybe on Facebook, and they provide some great racing paint schemes. But we are racing here again, green flag in the air, and Aiden Young has really got these restarts down to a science as he rockets out in front of the rest of this field. But they're 3 wide for the 5th position down into turn 3. On the bottom, that's the 21 of Kevin Fry, going to get out in front of Preston Cranmer and Lance Ripka.
Yeah, I tell you what, John Short's doing a real good job working his way back up through the field again here. He's going to make a big gain on that one on the inside here. So that 51 machine.
We got a spin over there. That's Terry Landis in the...
Yeah, Terry Landis. And the 81. They're still picking up. Still piling into it. Oh, man, that's the worst part. That's the sharpest part right there coming out of 4. The sharpest part of the turn right there. When you kind of already got that thing up on the bars and steering it in, it's hard to check that thing up or even steer it out of the way. So that is the worst place you want to be stationary on the racetrack in the racing surface there. God, hard break, tough break.
Several hard hits there. In fact, that crash looked like an episode of ARCA Break Weekly there. Those drivers just piling in and had nowhere to go. Like you said, it's hard to get on the binders, especially on dirt when you're committed to a slide. And the brakes in these dirt cars really meant to make it turn, not slow it down so much. So unfortunately, those drivers will get quite a few bit of damage. And look, J-Money, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, close to 10 laps to go, and about half of this field with damage now.
Yeah, no, everyone's gonna have a whole lot of work to get ready for this main later on tonight. So good thing they got a little bit of a break there to rebuild the cars in the pits here. But I tell you what, the big trooper here is Aiden Young. He's not letting this get to his head. I know he's leading the race, and you hate, especially here at Volusia, I hate doing restarts if I'm leading this race, if I'm up front. If I know that I can, build a gap and got good momentum and I got good speed that night, the restarts are just horrible. But he's not letting it get to his head. He's just consistently controlling these starts, doing it how he wants to, and that's enough to defend that position alone.
He is doing a great job. A young driver, and I know he's young because his name is Aiden Young.
Yeah.
So there's 2 reasons in his name that I know he's young. Pace truck back on pit road. Green flag in the air. We are racing here, just about 10 laps to go here in this last chance qualifier. And my eyes right now are around this transfer spot. That's where things are going to get mixed. And we are getting crashed over here if turn 2. I don't know how they didn't really crash. Everybody kind of bounced off each other and kept going.
Oh, we're 6 wide. 6 wide in turn 4 right now. Someone didn't make it. Someone stuck on the attenuator. And that is going to be the end of that story. That was John Rainier, who was the too many cars, too many men on the field, penalty, flag on the play. They're going to send him out to the back here. John Rainier, the bad luck trooper in that one.
Well, there was actually 2 separate crashes that happened there at the same time as they went 6 wide through turns 3 and 4, and John Rainier got pushed off the track. Just behind them, Terry, into the attenuator goes him. That was Terry Landis back behind him, got spun around.
God, yeah, you're right. Backed it up into the wall. I tell you what, these short wheelbase cars, it's crazy how they'll just kind of hop all around. I mean, it's almost like the sprint cars. Once you get the momentum going, that thing's just coming around on you.
Well, we've had a change up front just in that one lap before that caution. Kyle Moonen was able to get around our leader, Aiden Young. So Kyle Moonen now our race leader. That means that Aiden Young, for the first time in this LCQ, will not be leading this event. So he's going to have to try to look. He's safe, but he wants to win. This is his race. He's been leading the whole time. Brennan Week's going to be in third. Kevin Fry in fourth. Dan Blau in that fifth position. John Short is up to sixth. Seventh going to be Preston Cranmer. And eighth right now is Roger Craig. So Roger Craig sitting on that transfer spot, but he has got Steven Fernberg, Joe Halter, Lance Ripka, GJ Boydell, Chase Hess, a lot of very fast drivers right behind him who want that spot. So keep an eye on that transfer spot, because when we go back racing, J Money, it's only going to be a handful of laps to go, maybe 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, no, this is going to be S or get time. This is big racing time right here. Big bucks on the line. And there they are backing it off. Going to make sure they get a real good jump from it here. Yeah,
you could see Kyle Moonen stacking that field up to get a jump on the green here. Pace truck going to go down. Green flag in the air. We are racing again at Volusia. And boy, did that work out well for Kyle Moonen. He got a big jump down into turn 1. It's going to be Aiden Young on top. On the bottom, it's the 22 of Brennan Weeks, and the 21 of Kevin Fry falls back. But I'm looking back here right now. Roger Craig in that 8th position. He is safe, but these drivers are like an angry hornet's nest as they battle for that 8th position.
That's the key right there. I mean, the win is awesome. That is definitely bragging rights, but it's about getting into the main tonight. And I tell you what, we got Roger Craig right here on the outside looking in. Look for him to turn up the heat just a little bit. 4 laps to go, make or break time. But Lance Ripka's coming up too, and he's bringing Hess with him. A lot of fast cars starting to gather up around this bubble. Oh,
caution flag out in the track. I am not sure who brought that caution out. I saw a couple cars stack up before that, but I don't think it was them, because it was a couple seconds later, or at least 30 seconds later. I'm not sure what that caution. Oh, that was Terry Landis.
Terry Landis and Chris Bro Schaefer, the Bro 23, getting turned around. Nah, bro. That's what you need.
Actually, this crash started in 3 and 4, Money, because Chris Schaefer. No, the cars in front got involved. The 181 of Jeffrey Kemper hit the 70 of Mike Cranmer, and then Chris Schaefer went around off the nose of somebody, and Terry Landis had nowhere to go. These crashes on dirt are very complex. It's like a final exam in a physics class or something. Like if you have a 2,500-pound dirt modified, and you fling it through the dirt at 122 miles an hour, how many flips will it do before it lands on top of another car?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a big word problem that no one likes to do. That's what crashing on dirt is.
So things are getting interesting here. We're going to do a green-white checkered for this LCQ. So an LCQ to decide this green-white checkered. A green-white checkered to decide this LCQ. It's going to be Kyle Moonen, Brennan Weeks, Aiden Young, Kevin Fry, Dan Blau, John Short, Preston Cranmer, and Steven Fernberg. Your top 8 are safe. Roger Craig, Lance Ripka, Chase Hess, Joe Halter, those drivers trying to transfer in. They're very close to the bubble. We will keep an eye on it as we get ready to go back racing here at Volusia County. A green-white checkered to decide it. Pace truck going down pit road. And green flag back out into the air. A great jump there by Kyle Moonen. Again, he'll get out to some safe space, but the rest of this field going to go to the top and the bottom as they dance around through 1 and 2 for position.
I tell you what, keep an eye on that bubble. There's going to be a wreck there. Oh, we even saw Aiden Young even kind of fish tap the wall there. He's really using the track up. Oh, 747's going to get into 28. Fernsburg still getting used up here.
Oh, white flag in the air. They're still digging. My eyes are on the transfer spot, but that's Roger Craig. Will go around in 1 and 2. They're
coming around to the checkered.
Coming around to the checkers. Here we go. In the air, your winner is going to be Kyle Moonen. But I was watching the transfer spot. Kyle Moonen will win the LCQ. Brennan Weeks will be second. Kevin Fry will finish third. Aiden Young will finish fourth. Fifth will be Dan Blau. Sixth, John Short. Seventh, Preston Cranmer. Eighth place will be Lance Ripka. Those drivers will transfer to this evening's A main. Steven Fernberg, Chase Hess, Joe Halter, GJ Boydell, Bill Richardson, Cody Castleman, Chris Whipple, Tom Taylor, Terry Landis, John Rayner, Mike Cranmer, Donald Dory, Chris Schaefer, Roger Craig, Jeffrey Kemper, Tyler Berry, Gary Taylor. Those drivers, unfortunately, their night will end right here. And it's so unfortunate. We've got some fast drivers who missed out. Steven Fernberg, Chase Hess, GJ Boydell, Joe Halter, Broseph, Chris Schaefer in the Bro 23 car. We have a lot of cars missing out. Very unfortunate, but for those 8 drivers, J Money, they are good to go. Now, let's see if we have some of our drivers here. We do not have Kyle Moonen, nor do we have Brennan Weeks that I can see. Yes, we do not, but we do have our third place finisher, Kevin Fry, so I'm going to get him up here. Kevin Fry, you got me, bud? Kevin Fry, Sugar Steve up in the booth. You got me? All right, Kevin Fry. Oh, there's Kyle Moonen. Kyle Moonen, you got me, bud?
I do.
Kyle, man, you did a lot of racing, both last night and tonight, to get to this spot. You have won the LCQ, which is not only awesome because you get to go to Victory Lane, but it's awesome because you are finally locked into tonight's big event.
Yes, finally. It was a lot of racing last night. I kind of lost patience after the heat race and the second race and was like, all right, I'm coming back tomorrow. I'll come back and run that one and weasel my way in there. And there's 150 laps, so there's plenty of time to work my way to the front.
There is plenty of time to work your way to the front. Now, my question for you, now that you have done about 600 laps of racing to prepare for this 150 laps, do you have that seat time? Do you have that experience? Are you confident going into this 150 lap main?
Yeah. Other than just avoiding stuff, that's going to be the biggest thing. Just kind of trying to hang out. Honestly, really do about the opposite. I'm kind of hoping everyone wants to settle in and follow the leader and give me a chance to be a little more aggressive and make up some spots. If not, if everyone's kind of trying to jump up there, I'll just hang out and cruise around for a while.
Well, it is a long race, but these drivers are unpredictable in terms of if they just want to click some laps off or if they want to race for 150 laps side by side. I guess we'll have to see how that shakes out. But Kyle, you did a great job last night and tonight. I know that you struggled with luck yesterday, but hey, you came out on top here. You won this LCQ, and that will put you in a better starting spot than some of these other drivers. So do you have any shout outs you want to give before you prepare for this 150 lap main?
Just pretty much everyone at the league, Roger and Preston and, John and John Hine. I think, there's quite a few people that have had a hand in this, and you guys as well for the broadcast. It's a pretty neat deal that they do, and everyone at Bandy built, and Goldner and Brennan for that one. I actually was, when I was cruising around in second, I knew that slider line in 1 and 2 was gonna come in. I just didn't want to use it until I was the first one to use it, and those came from them two last night. So I thank them for that, and we'll see you in the next race.
Sounds like a plan, Kyle. Good luck tonight. Hopefully we talk to you again soon.
Yep, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That is your LCQ winner, Kyle Moonen. Let's see if Kevin Fry is available now. Kevin Fry, you got me? Alrighty, J Money. We do not have Kevin Fry.
He is no longer there.
All right, so we finally have our last drivers to transfer through. We know which 24 will be in our main in just a few bit. I don't know exactly. When we get started in about an hour or so for the main event. And J Money, I do believe that we have.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Sorry. Oh, hey, there he is.
There's Kevin Fry. Kevin Fry, you got me?
Yes, sir. Gotcha. Sorry, mic problems.
Oh no, you're all good, Kevin. You did a lot of racing here tonight, and you were able to wheel yourself into that third spot. You are safe for tonight. How are you feeling for this main race tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. These stock setups here are working pretty good. They're had to get it figured out. Took me a couple extra laps to get the momentum going and figure out how to drive the race car with this setup. So finally figured it out and started moving forward.
Well, it worked out well for you, Kevin. 150 laps ahead of you. You only ran 50 in this LCQ. So my question for you is, do you think you can go the full distance? Do you think that you can keep that car and follow the track as it progresses?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to need a lot of Gatorade to get hydrated and stay hydrated for the 150 laps. But we're going to try our hardest to stay up front and or move up front, since we're going to start kind of towards the back tonight. So we're going to try our hardest to stay up front.
Well, go grab yourself a Gatorade, Kevin, and get ready for this 150 lapper. We will be hopefully talking to you again soon. If you finish well enough, good luck tonight, bud, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, hopefully so, guys. Thank y'all very much, and thank y'all for hosting up the broadcast.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That is Kevin Fry, your third place finisher here. All right, J Money, we've got a little bit of time before we go over to the A main as we get ready for the racing for Grady 150. Do we have? I think that we were talking about playing the second half of that interview in between, so these fans have something to watch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, we should have the whole, this should be the whole thing first, so everyone that's new knows what they're getting into. So without further ado, we're going to go into the Grady Chandler interview. Make sure you find the ESN. I know the ESN's got it, so wherever you're watching this, if you're watching this on the iRACING TV network on Roku or Amazon, make sure you hop over real quick on your phone. We got the link to donate to the charity there, so it's real easy. Hit the link, donate some money, help these people out, make sure we got the good cause rolling in, and we'll head over to the interview that was provided by Roger Craig and Preston Chandler for the Pit Road podcast, and we'll be back for the main event right after that.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, G-Force TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from rivals and G-Force TV racing leagues. G-Force TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on G-Force TV.
Well, hello, everybody, and we're really excited this week. We got an awesome guest on, Grady Chandler, and we've been going through a few hoops here. I've had all sorts of technical problems on my end, and I've ended up on my iPhone, so hopefully that's working okay. But as long as you can see Grady impressive, I guess nobody really cares about me. But welcome to the show, Grady. We're really, really happy to have you on, bud.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate that.
So I know I was having technical problems. I've been gone for like 10 or 15 minutes, and these guys have probably covered all sorts of stuff and have all sorts of great material. Do you want to take this off, press it, or I was going to go to your career, like from when you were a young guy, because I saw a bunch of pictures. I mean, you've been racing since you were like, I don't know, 1, 2.
Close. I started racing at 5 years old. My dad had raced through the 90s and in the 2000s he had a street stock and he had a sprint car his last few years. Just a hobby racer, was a guy that would load up on Friday and then decide, if I don't go race this week, I don't have to do anything to the car and I can just go to the lake. So then it'd set in the trailer week and he'd go to the lake. But obviously I took that to a different level the second I got involved in it, and been doing it a while. This has definitely been the only time in my life I've ever been separated from the sport. So this is definitely a different outlook on things and a little bit of a struggle.
So what did the history of your career? What did you start with? And I know you got to midgets, but also saw a picture of you, I think, standing on the top of a sprint car. So tell us a little bit about how you got to the whole midget thing and that, or it wasn't midgets. I'm sorry. Yeah, midgets and the wingless sprint and the wing sprint.
Yeah, I've got you. In Oklahoma, micro racing is huge. I mean, it's definitely next to sprint car. It's probably bigger than the sprint car scene, honestly. I mean, there's a ton of people and a ton of talent has come through there too. So I started out in a junior sprint at 5 years old, which is pretty much now. I mean, heck, they're $30,000 race cars, but back in my day, I sound like an old man. Pretty much glorified go-karts with shocks, bigger than a quarter midget, but, nothing special, mostly go-kart rear ends, Briggs and Stratton engines. Ran those for 3 years till I was 8. Actually won the Chili Bowl in 2000, not Chili Bowl, won the shootout in the winter of 2009. And
Wow.
Dad, a man by the name of Darren Rustin, through his work, he was selling trucks at the time, and Darren had a daughter named Kinsey, and she had a Bandolero car, which is, I guess, I don't know how to describe it, a mini NASCAR for kids, I guess would be the best way to describe it. We went down to started racing Texas Motor Speedway at 9 on the quarter mile and the 5th mile, and some road racing too, and really enjoyed that. Managed to win the Winter Series down there, and started micro racing in 2010, also with Darren, and ran with Darren up till the end of 2012 in the restricted class. And then in 2013 was actually when Chris Bell had left the team in 2012 to go drive for Ferkel. Rick, that's the first time he ever drove a sprint car, and he goes and drives for Rick Ferkel. I mean, who does that? But he went up there, and I actually got the opportunity to drive his vacated Outlaw car. So at the time, I was 12 years old. I think I was in 5th or 6th grade. And we won the first night out in Chris's car, which was really special looking back on it. Had some success through 13 and 14 in that car. Me and the owner who took over from Darren Rustin by the name of Mark Lowe, we parted ways at the end of 14. And me and Dad started. I was running the family car through 15 in the micros, which was our non-wing stock car. But heck, we'd show up in micro racing. You can run 3 classes a night in the same car. You just put wings on, put wings off. It ain't like a sprint car where everything. Taking a wing sprint car and pulling wings off, you're probably not going to be very good. But in a micro, somehow you can get away with it. And we had a lot of success with our own. I think we won 3 out of the first 5 races out of that year. And I got hooked up with a gentleman by the name of Tommy Gray and Brandon Oldham. And I was driving, Brandon and Tommy's micros. And the first time I got to drive a midget was for a gentleman named Richard Harvey at Oklahoma City. And Richard had built Stinger chassis out of California for, 10, 15 years. And he had come home and his son wasn't available to drive the car that night. And the only way I ended up in his shop was because me and my old man had gotten in a fight the night before so bad about me complaining about a seat not fitting right that it was going to be a punishment. We were not racing and pulled the seat out and let's go get this welded up and yada. And then next thing you know, we're pushing a midget in the trailer and going to the racetrack. What was I? I'd have been 13 in 2014. So we went out and the first night ran 8th and I was like, oh, heck, this is pretty cool. I got to drive a midget. That's awesome. And we followed that up with my first podium the second night out and went on to win the next year my first midget race in Richard's car at 14 years old. And that's something I really, really hold special in my heart, because it was just us and him. And there's an interesting story that we get in that one another time. But, then I started driving for a gentleman by the name of Eric Fenton out of Tulsa in 16 because Richard and I, we were both footing the bill and neither of us had enough money to do it, but, you were scraping to get by. And I started driving Eric's cars in 16. He had some very, very nice equipment on the POWRi West side. And from the outside, it seemed like a really, really good deal. But for us both, we spent 2.5 years at it. And it just never really materialized. I don't know if it was something I was doing wrong or who to blame. And there's no one to blame now. And there wasn't no one to blame at the time. But, we spent 2.5 years together. We did manage to win the championship. Podium, I think it was 10, 11 times. And we only won 1 race. And I think looking back on it now, and I'm sure he'll feel the same way about it, it was, where was the missing piece of that puzzle? Why didn't we have success? Was it me? And I did a lot of soul searching after that. We had parted ways midway through 2018, and I was without a ride for a summer, and I went with Tucker Klasmeyer to Indiana and kind of found myself in Keith's shop taking body panels off. And then I was pushing a broom, and then I was mounting a tire. And then by the end of the week, heck, I was taking steering boxes out and running maintenance on cars. So kind of fell into a job there. And Keith and Pete, man, they treated me like gold. And I don't know that they necessarily taught me what to do, but I learned that I was pretty stupid because when you're raised your whole life and you don't really know anything else as far as, setups. You only know what you've been told. And then you get there and you start looking and, maybe sticking a tape measure some places you shouldn't necessarily be sticking it and realizing, man, I'm really not that smart. Like I'm kind of stupid, maybe this is way different than what I've ever done. What's the problem? And those guys taught me a ton, man, and ended up at the end of that summer getting hooked up with a gentleman by the name of Dave Moss, actually from Oklahoma City as well, so it was perfect down the road. Dave Moss and Blaine Long. And I should have won the first night out in their midget, and we blew up. I mean, I started like 18th, was leading the race, blew up. And Dave decided he wanted to go sprint car racing, and we managed to win our 7th night out against NCRA at 81 Speedway, which had, Don Droud, Zach Chappell. He was a former ASCS national champion Danny Jennings, plenty of Sooner titles, plenty of state fair speedway titles, and I was really proud of that. And then less than a month later, I was driving Kevin Barksdale's non-wing sprint car at a USAC Oklahoma race, and that's where I got hurt.
So, do you remember that accident at all, or?
Unfortunately, I remember all of it. You know, it took me I remember it happening, and then obviously in the hospital, I remember being, you know, pretty confused of why I was there. But now, you know, I can piece everything together and know exactly what happened. So, yeah, I remember all of it.
Now, we talked earlier about you were comfortable talking about post accident and what you've been through.
I can't. Like I said, I'd show up naked at Walmart at this point. You know?
No, we don't want you to do that.
That either.
So it's been a tough go, but you've overcome some major obstacles right off the bat. Like my understanding is they didn't ever think you'd even breathe on your own.
Yeah, you know, I was fortunate enough to not only survive the impact of it, but with where my injury was, you know, there was a chance of, you know, not being able to breathe on my own. Which, if that would have happened, I wouldn't have survived it due to the fact of, you know, just in someone with that severe of a neck injury, when they can't breathe on their own, if they don't have someone there that can intubate them and open up their airway within, you know, 5-10 minutes, you know, you're going to suffocate. And my breathing got very, very, very restricted, but I managed to at least wheeze my way by, and that, you know, that saved my life.
That's awesome, and I think my understanding is too that they didn't think you'd have any like arm movement or anything, and from what I've seen, you're doing a remarkable job. And I know it's a long road, but totally impressed with even setting up this session here. You know that you're managing to do. I know your mom had said something about you can do voice commands with the phone, which is cool. But you're actually getting some motor control there, and
Yeah,
controlling the camera.
back and working, not full function, but they're there. And really, the only time I do voice control is if I'm laying down and have my arms tucked up under me on the phone. Like I said, I could hunt and peck with the back of my pinky. But you know where I'm hurt at. You know, when the surgeon comes out and tells your parents that, you know, you're never going to breathe on your own and you're paralyzed from the neck down, you know, there's not a lot to really work there with. You know, I can only, it was hard from a first person perspective going through all that, and I'm sure it was harder for them than it was me at the same time.
So I know you moved to Atlanta for a while, and then I think COVID shut that facility down. Is that what happened there?
Have you ever been to Atlanta?
I've been
Anyone?
through Atlanta on my way to Florida. That's it.
Best use for Atlanta you can do is driving through it. That is the my life. And I wholeheartedly mean that. I would rather get dropped off in East St. Louis than Atlanta. You know, got there, and at the time, man, when they shipped me off from Oklahoma to Atlanta for the, you know, quote unquote rehab facility, I still only weighed, you know, 85 pounds, which was half my body weight. I weighed 160 pounds sopping wet as a healthy person. You know, I'd lost half my weight sitting in the hospital that long, and I was still so sick, and, you know, had to have another surgery when I got there, and nearly got put back on the vent and pretty much started back from square one. So
Wow.
I can't necessarily blame the people as much as a victim of my own circumstances, but still, that place, it's always going to stay in a memory of me. You know, I'm never stopping in Atlanta again. I'm
Okay.
sure.
So moving on from there. So now you're in Miami, and it sounds like things are a lot better there.
Absolutely. One, if you're going to be screwed up and have to go through this, you might as well have something to look at. And there's plenty to look at here. So that's a plus side. We've actually become very, very good friends with a gentleman by the name of Daryl Gwynn. He got hurt in an NCRA top fuel dragster in 1990, and he's a huge donor, and he has his own foundation through the Miami Project. And believe it or not, full circle, even when he was healthy, he was still raising money for the Miami Project to cure paralysis. And then, the guy that was raising the money, sure enough, ends up in the spot where he needs some of it back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
through him, we got through the door and currently enrolled in study there, and seeing where it takes us.
So that's awesome. So things are progressing well now where you are, and you're getting the therapy you need.
Yeah, every day, I think it's just my mentality. You lay in bed at night thinking, am I doing enough? And that's a question I've always had in my head. I think most hardworking people will agree. Lazy people don't worry about if they're being lazy. Only hardworking people worry if they're doing enough. And I can honestly say me and my family are doing enough, and we wouldn't be able to do it without support from you guys and the generosity of the racing community. You guys rallied around me like I don't know how to describe it, and I can't explain it. I'll be forever grateful for that. And regardless of my outcome or however this ends up, I can promise you there will be something good that comes out of this, whether it be a foundation or somehow that I could use, some of the support I've had and continue growing to help someone else maybe get a chance to come down to Miami and attend some therapy for a few months or something, because I've met tons and tons and tons of young people just like me that are going through the same injury, and it's just their family. They don't have the support.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to do this without the support.
No,
So
the racing community is amazing, and I know Preston and I were talking. We were watching the Chili Bowl, and all the people with the "Do It for Grady" masks. So
yeah.
I think they sold out, or they ran out of masks at the Chili Bowl, from what I saw.
So I've been told, man. And seeing that, it brightens up your day. Knowing people care. And even with all the support, though, I'll tell you, you feel like a grain of sand blowing through the universe. But then you have to know that the other people that don't have that probably feel like the atom in the sand. So in some way, like I said, regardless of my outcome, I have to use this for good and give back to other people that are in need.
Well, that's you're truly inspiring to talk to, buddy, and I think you're heading on down an unbelievable path here of just doing maybe more in the situation now than you could have done in the past, because you're inspiring me just listening to you. So good on you, buddy. I know it's not easy. I can't even imagine, but full credit, man. You got the right attitude, and that's awesome. I got a couple of things I wanted to mention. I haven't even let Preston talk, but I will. But this guy named Brennan Lacey is in our league, in our iRacing league, and I don't know if you know that name. So he's from Oklahoma. We have afternoon races now, and it's usually just the old guys, but Brennan's a young guy, and he showed up in there, and he made the comment. He was really appreciative of what we're doing, because he knows all sorts of people that have as your mom calls, circled the wagons, and helping you out, and he wanted to make sure that he gave you a big shout out. Is a real big deal for not only him, but for a lot of us. Another one you might know that's in our league is Kenny Kulsh. I don't know if you know that name, but the Kelch. Just there
Yeah.
I go. Yeah, Kelch. So we got straightened out by his son last week. So him and his son both race in our league, but Kenny plays the bugle at the Chili Bowl and the Tulsa Shootout.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you.
Forever.
What was that? Sorry.
Racing micros, and he's got his dyno service now with the injection and all that.
Yeah, so they're in our league. So yeah, there's a lot of guys in the league that have a connection with you somehow. I noticed on your Facebook page, you're friends with Dylan Westbrook, who is one of my younger heroes. And I don't know if you know Dylan or it's just through Facebook, but he's a cool dude.
Personally met Dylan, I want to say probably 2 to 3 times, running with the few shows I got to run with ASCS through the last year before I got hurt. More so acquaintances, just rolling down the road. I can't really tell you that I knew him, but I know he's he's been chasing the ACS still for a while now, and he's won quite a few races, and he's doing really good.
Yeah, he's been doing great, and just a great kid, great family that he comes from. But no, that's all cool. And when I came back into this after all my technical problems, it almost sounded. I got to call you out, buddy. It almost sounded like you were trashing iRacing. You're on an R Factor thing or something. So I don't know. I kind of came in the tail end, and maybe you can take over, press, and explain what's going on here.
Well, by no means would I bash iRacing in any way, but and like I said, it's a big old glass of nostalgia for me, being an 11-year-old kid and literally doing nothing but racing on R Factor all day, every day after school. And me and Jason McDougal we'd run a league race on whatever Wednesday night it would be, and then we would stay up late enough. Of course, we both got to go to school in the morning, and we'd stay up late enough to run the Australian League. By the time that got done, you had enough time to get in the shower and then run off to school and grade whatever I was in. But big old glass of nostalgia. And I never really got to get involved in the iRacing scene as much as I would have liked, just for the fact that I had the absolute bottom of the barrel internet service at my house.
Yeah.
Actually, a week before I got hurt, Cox ran a line through our neighborhood, and I splurged out and I said, I want Gigablast. I want the fast. I've put up with this for 10 years. I want the best internet I can have. And I got to enjoy it for like 4 days, so.
My question always is your greatest memory. What was your greatest moment that you remember as a highlight?
As far as greatest moments, they probably wouldn't even be in a race car as far as, most fun, just hanging out with buddies or doing something like that. But as far as great moments in a race car, I would have to say I won the C on Saturday at the Chili Bowl on TV. And that was in 2019. And I'd come off a real rough year in 2018. I had lost my ride about a quarter of the way through the year. I went and worked with Keith. I didn't have anything going. Had just hooked up with David Moss and Blaine Long and was kind of dabbling in some sprint car stuff. But, I'd been at the racetrack, I want to say, 75 times that year. And I only got to race like 10 or 12 shows because I didn't have anything going. I was just working and learning. So to bounce back from that, and I was driving for Dean Alexander and Randy Timms at the Chili Bowl. And those guys, I think it was more the don't crack under pressure, because I had to hear them both all week talk about, oh, this is your one chance. This is your one chance. Don't blow it, both of them. And, and I was the whole time I'm like, I got this. You ain't got to tell me that. And you keep hearing over and over and over. You're like, okay, why would you want to? We're on the same team here. Why are you trying to psych me out? What's the deal? But, won the C from 5th and was up into a transfer spot, and I got hooked up with Dylan Welch and then had to go to the back and then came back up through the field, was in a transfer spot, and then like 3rd from 9th all piled up on the cushion and crashed. So, the guys that were rolling around the bottom in 11th ended up getting the show, and all of us had to go home. But that's probably, as far as in the car, the most proud moment.
Well, I would say so. That's that and getting in Chris Bell's car and running it as good as he did. That's another one to be pretty proud of too, boy. That's amazing.
I'm not going to say I consistently do it as well as he did, but first night out, that felt pretty good.
Just stick with that one then, buddy. That's the one to do. You thought that Terry Landis had run with Grady in R Factor?
Everyone hated me. At that time, you had the group of teenagers, and then you had the grown guys, and you had the really old guys. And then
what you're saying.
Then you had me on there at, 12 years old with a squeaky voice and, sometimes in the way, sometimes maybe taking too much when I shouldn't have. And, I hate to say it, but I grew up a lot on there of just getting the crap talked down to you. You know, at 12 years old, having to hang out. You gotta wise up and grow up quick to be able to hang out with him. You know, so
Yeah.
it did me some good though. I'm glad it happened.
I'm sure the same thing happened, like you said. It's it rubs off on you, and it helps you mature. I think when you're running with with a more mature crowd, I guess you would say at the time.
Yeah.
So
No, and I'll hate to tell you, going back to the sim racing deal, I absolutely hated Chase Briscoe for like years over R Factor, because one time I had a pop up pull up on my computer and like I crashed him or something at Angel Park, the start of the race. Like I can still see it. Like that's how this remembers. And I remember him writing something all smart. Of course, at the time he was a kid, and I always thought he disliked me because of that, and I always disliked him. And then 2019 Chili Bowl, it was like I want to say it was me, him, Chris, or somebody, and we're just sitting there talking. I was like, "So you like? There's no beef because like I've been holding a grudge since I was 11 over you getting hacked on the internet one time." He's like, "No, come on, I don't even remember that, But as an 11-year-old kid, that stuff stuck with me. I was like, "Oh, screw that guy," Always hated.
so we got the races we're doing, the racing for Grady 150. So it's basically sportsmen, like the dirt modifieds. Have you ever had anything to do with them at all? Yeah.
Yeah, the closest thing to that in Oklahoma would be those absolutely dreadful MIDI modifieds they have at the shootout. All due respect to them, but they put off the worst sound of any race car ever. Can't stand them. But no, I never got to drive anything on dirt with fenders on it.
So will you be watching when we on the Sunday night when we do the big race?
I will tune in. I've been really, at a crossroads. This is probably the first time I've talked to anyone outside my, immediate circle in nearly a year. I've been at crossroads where it's, screw it if I can't be a part of it. I'm not going to get left out and not be around it. But then, you find yourself thinking about it and wanting to be a part of it still. And it's, this is definitely getting out of my comfort zone, and I'm glad I'm doing it. So I will be tuning in, and I can't thank you guys enough for, choosing to support me with the race. And I mean, that's awesome. Like I said, the generosity of people like you guys in the race community, without it, I couldn't be here. And once again, I promise, regardless of my outcome, to do something with that support for the better.
That's incredibly mature words and inspiring words coming from you. I can't say enough about that. And something that's been unmentioned in this interview is the Steve King Foundation. I mean, we were working through the Steve King Foundation, and I can't say enough about them. And I'm not sure how much you work with them or you're tied in with them, but I know they do tremendous work for a lot of injured race car drivers, dirt drivers specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe they contacted my parents, I want to say within the first 7 days, and helped us out. At that time, really the first, 3-4 months of this, it was in limbo whether if I was going to make it or not, due to the fact of, all the complications I had while in the hospital. I came in with a broke neck, and somehow they managed to, do some other stuff. It's like paying somebody to put a roof on your house, and you get home and all the plumbing's in the yard. I don't know how that happened, but it did. But no, they were one of the first people to reach out with us, and I'm, forever grateful for that.
Yeah, they've been nothing but a class organization. We've worked with them in the past, and really that was the first time I know, just going through the Steve King Foundation, that I became aware of you. And so yeah, they certainly have a great role that they play, and we want to make sure we give them a shout out here too as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just being a part of the racing community. Even when someone else was going through stuff at the racetrack, I remember carrying helmets at the last show I got to run for Don Swoop when he was, going through his battle with cancer. And I guarantee it, I made at least 5, 6 helmets full. It just kept going back and going back and going back. And, regardless of rivals or not, everyone, when someone was in need in the racing community, everyone pitched in, including me and my family. And that's something that has came back to us in, a million different ways. And not that we ever wanted it to come back or, we're asking for it. That's just how the racing community works. All families today, regardless if it's, racing on a computer or a sprint car or, Red Bull Air Race. It's all the same stuff, and we're all going to help each other.
Yep. Can't close this out any better. And talking about going out of your comfort zone, we should point out this was originally going to be a phone interview, and so I appreciate you're really stepping out of your comfort zone here, buddy. And it's just you're amazing, and let me tell you, buddy, you're inspiring, and can't say enough about that. So we'll keep in touch, and let's see what's next for Grady Chandler down the road here. I can see some big things. Just from your attitude, it's just awesome, and so impressed, and we're very privileged to have you on here. So I just want to thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. And I feel like there's one more thing we have to discuss, just as to get it out there. As far as sprint car and safety in general of racing. I've replayed the event of what has happened to me, and what could we have done different. It's kind of like my situation was very, very similar to Kevin Swindell's, in the fact of, instead of landing flat on rails down, I landed flat on rails up and hit the cage. And the roll cage didn't give way. I was in a full containment seat. The car had a halo. I always wore neck restraint, everything updated. And what happened to my situation, and like I said, I'm only saying this because someone listening could learn from it, and it helps somebody. I ended up actually landing on top of the berm. Like, they have a berm at Chili Bowl, and I landed on top of that, and it pretty much was like landing on top of a wall, except it didn't collapse the cage on me, it collapsed the berm. And that came in the car, and that's what got me. We replay. It's almost like racing in general is kind of like showing up to a boxing match, and you're wearing a helmet, and you got your gloves, and you go to fight the guy, and he kicks you in the balls. What the heck just happened? What? How did that happen? So I wish there was more of a review in racing, almost like there is in aviation. That's something that the FIA, I know you'd mentioned being a huge Formula One fan. Anytime an event happens that's, someone gets hurt or, fatal or whatever, it's reviewed. And in sprint car racing, I don't really feel like that's something that nobody likes change, regardless. Guys used to gripe when they first started making them run roll cages. Oh my gosh, and hopefully one day we'll be able to, maybe learn from my situation and better the sport as well.
Great words, buddy. Appreciate everything you're doing here, and I'm sure your mom and dad are really proud right now, because you're just doing a great job here. And just wish you all the best. And like you say, you might as well be down in Miami enjoying that warmth and all the good views that you got, than being up north where, well, even Preston in Virginia is getting snow, so and cold. So.
Let's give Ireland the soap it deserves. Introducing Dr. Squatch's Irish Cream and Whiskey Soap. Smooth and natural, like dropping a shot of whiskey and cream into a stout beer. Sláinte. You'll smell like a crisp, clean Irish morning with scents of whiskey and maca. with ingredients like potato water, reishi mushroom, milk thistle, Irish moss, and stout beer. You'll feel like you're out celebrating with your lads at the pub.
Don't put crap in your car. Get rid of 80 to 90% of friction by using TBT green oil additive.
Welcome to ESN, the eSport Network. Sugar Steve Roswick here with J Money Jason Anderson, and it is time for the main event. That's right. We are finally here for the Racing for Grady 150, the A main. The whole time you have been watching racing for the past 2 days has led up to this moment. This is the moment where all of these drivers get to cut it loose for 150 laps. That, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, that's an endurance race on dirt, J Money. We were talking about it earlier. Generally speaking, a long race on dirt is 75, 80, 100 laps. We're going 150 here in these dirt modifieds. This is going to be a testament to not only these endurance, but how they can chase the track, as it's going to change drastically over that 150 laps.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And we were talking to Roger Craig, one of the league admins here before the race started. And, we were like, can these cars even run 150 laps? And he said, yeah, you should. So these drivers got to be watching the gauge. I mean, if you're out there flat-footing this thing on the high side the whole time, if it's a long green flag run, you might be burning that fuel too fast. You might be losing pressure there eventually. So, it's not just the car in front of you watching your line, it's watching your gauges. What are you actually doing with that car? It's this is when everything's culminating, everything comes back together, and now you got to be a driver of everything. You got to master the car, you got to master the track, you got to master the other cars out there, all your buddies and all the guys that you hate. And keeping that in mind, you're gonna go past a guy that kind of roughed you up 3 heat races ago and maybe a B main and you're gonna be like, I got your number, bud. And so it's the whole big scope of this thing. And on top of that, there's 24 cars out there and every one of them wants to win it.
Well, and there's another variable here that is going to change drastically for these drivers. And up until this very moment, every single race that they have run, they've had 10 gallons of fuel in the tank. For tonight's 150 lap main, they're going to run 24 gallons, which is more than double the amount of fuel, which is an excessive amount of weight on the backside of these cars, which is going to change the handling. They're going to have to get to past halfway to get that fuel level to where they're familiar with it. But by that point, the tires will be worn out. So a lot of variables for these drivers to consider. Not only are they racing with some familiar faces and all of that, possibly starting positions and everything else, this fuel load is going to change how these cars drive, and it'll really change the dynamic of this race.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all about weight, especially with these cars with the short wheelbases like this. I mean, it's all about the balance of that. So these guys, I mean, you're right. Not only are you battling the track and, watching your fuel and battling the other drivers out there, now you got a different car. You got a whole different car than what you've been racing all weekend long. I mean, the best advice that anyone could have done was, as soon as they knew they were locked into that main, immediately max that fuel tank out and start testing on their own. See what that car is going to feel like as the track changes, because that's another thing to keep in mind. This track is going to change unless it looks like everyone's working their hardest to slick this thing off before it even starts here. We got 20 minutes of this warm up before we get ready to go. Everyone's out there just trying to slick this track up, I think, so that way it's the same track all the way through. But who knows, maybe it resets when we go up into the main, so all that work is for naught.
Perhaps. I don't know. We'll have to see. They're a little bit more attentive with their track work than we are here at the ESN side of things. But, one thing that would be familiar, it's a shame Tyler Berry did not make this A main. He had some rough luck because come the end of this 150-lap race, this track will look like an ESN track. It will be dry and dusty, and they're going to be laying rubber down on it, babe. So we'll have to see how long it takes for this track to progress and what we start with, because these drivers right now, they're doing a nice practice here, and they've still got quite a bit of time. They got 30 minutes to get a feel for this track, get a feel for these cars, J Money. And it's kind of a gamble for these drivers too, because they don't know what they're going to get where they start. Some of these drivers up front, I believe they're doing a random pill draw for the top 8 starting spots, and that's kind of a gamble. But you know what else is a gamble? Gambler Motorsports. Gambler Motorsports is an esports racing team that competes weekly across the iRACING platform. The team has drivers entered in dirt races, sports cars, asphalt oval, and they even compete in endurance races. This year, they will have drivers in the prestigious 24 Hours of Daytona and 24 Hours of Le Mans. Go to Gambler Motorsports on Facebook and follow them there. If you would like to join, have any questions, reach out to them there. Gambler Motorsports also going to be giving out $25 in iRacing credits to some of these prize money for these drivers here tonight. So hats off to Gambler Motorsports for being a part of the Racing for Grady 150 here tonight. So the drivers still turning laps out here. And, I talked about how Preston Cranmer was just having some bad luck, but he was a fast driver. I have been proven correct yet again, because right now at the top of this board for this practice session here, this final happy half hour that we're running, Preston Cranmer at the top of the speed charts here. Brennan Weeks in second. Bobby Rafferty. Remember, Bobby Rafferty was that other driver that we were talking about yesterday who had to race his way through. He was very fast and had to race his way through the C main, the B main, and got in through the A main. So Bobby Rafferty there in that number 717 car is in third position on the charts here. Brennan Lacey, another fast driver. Kyle Parker, Wayne Miller, John Hain, and Rob Shaw. So we've got a lot of drivers, but I'm looking at the charts here, J Money, and just like yesterday, we have got about 8 or 9 drivers who ran a 16.8. We have another 9 or 10 drivers who ran a 16.9. So the top 20 within about a tenth of a second of each other here as we get ready to go out for the A.
Yeah, no, this is a real good stuff here. A lot of fast drivers, a lot of guys. And what's fun is we're starting to see these guys kind of match up. The A-main guy, this is where it gets kind of different because, or something to take note of, I'd say. The guys who, made that A early on, made the main feature early on and last night, they kind of lose out of a lot of experience. Now, yeah, it's real risky to have to go through all of those heats and mains and all of those things to try to get here. But the experience you get with racing with these guys is second to none. You're racing with the guys that you're going to be with at this main event for the most part. And so you get to feel the track out, how it kind of changes. You get a lot more wheel time around the guys. And so you can start kind of piecing everything together. And you're going to have a little bit better of a picture when this main event starts than, say, someone that grabbed up that entry real quick and, just kind of sat around and waited for the main. So, I think that's something to really keep in mind when we start seeing who is exactly making those quick gains on the track.
Well, I was actually thinking about that last night after our event last night, J Money, and I was thinking that dirt racing has done a good job of providing a natural handicap, and that is the faster you are, the less you race, which means the less experience you get and the less really how the track is going to go, because you're not out there actually running it. You're just watching it from the infield or from the grandstands. And the faster you are, the less you race. The slower you are, the more you have to race and the more experience and the more seat time you get. So that in itself is kind of a balance. And we saw yesterday a driver like Chase Hess, who unfortunately missed out on this A main, but he didn't unload in practice the fastest, and he had some rough trouble in that first heat race. But every single race he did, he got a little bit faster and a little bit faster. And by the end of the night, he was running up there near the top 5. So yeah, the more seat time, the more practice you get, the faster you will get. So that'll be an interesting thing to consider too, because some of these drivers that are in this A main only did their heat race in the A main last night. So they did a total of, say, 70 laps or 58 laps on the track yesterday. So other drivers did probably 250 laps on the track yesterday.
Right.
So J Money, I don't know if you heard about ABR Setup Shop, but ABR Setup Shop is here to help you step up your racing. With more than 7 years of iRacing experience and 3 times iRacing World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Champion, Alex Bergeron is your coach and setup builder for iRacing. Our goal is to make you the fastest on the track without exceptions. Look no further than ABR Setup Shop. We offer weekly official race setups, custom setup requests for your specific races, and most importantly, one-on-one coaching sessions. So go ahead and get started now. The victory lane is waiting for you, J Money. That's ABR Setup Shop. Go ahead and reach out to them on Facebook and online, and you'll talk to Alex Bergeron there, the guy behind it. ABR Setup Shop. So they're also providing some swag, some prize, and races for the drivers who have won here over the past couple nights. And ABR Setup Shop throwing out some prize money for these drivers as well. So we want to thank them for being a part of this wonderful event. We love having these great partners.
Yeah, no, this is pretty awesome. And I tell you what, I got an idea. What would be a good challenge for these setup shops is if they could get me in victory lane through coaching and setup building, then they really got something. You know what I mean?
That is true.
I mean, that should be the challenge. Like, we'll call it the J Money Challenge for any setup shop that thinks they can get a crappy driver coached up to the front. I'm your man. Like, and we'll 100,000, it could be a show. Can we get J Money in the top 5? Can we put him in victory lane? And we'll make a whole show out of it. The J Money Challenge that's coming to you this year. Someone.
Yeah. You know what? If you are confident enough as a setup shot, if you truly are confident enough in your setup and coaching, this is the place to do it, because not only is the setup going to challenge his driving abilities, this uncoachable gentleman right here will challenge your coaching abilities as well. So if you can get him coached and in victory lane, that would be a reality show that I would like to watch.
I'm pretty much deaf, dumb, and blind when it comes to racing. And, on Saturday nights, usually drunk too. So there's a whole slew list of problems that you're going to have to buckle up and take on.
Well, J Money, we are gritting up here. They decided to go ahead and pull the plug there on practice.
Man. Here we
It's
go.
racing time. It is the A main here, the Racing for Grady 150. All of the moments, all of the laps, all of the carnage has led up to this moment right here. 150 laps around this half-mile dirt oval, Volusia County. I got to tell you, we have done a lot of racing to get to this point, and these are the best 24 drivers you can find for these dirt modifieds. They have earned it. These spots have been earned, and I can confidently say that as we're going to take a look at our starting lineup, and it's a full field here, and you're going to see if your favorite driver has made it to the main event here, the Racing for Grady 150. Starting on the pole, going to be Rob Shaw in the 519 car, and starting on the outside pole, going to be Kyle Parker in the 013. Jeff Barker starting in that third position, the 513 car, and Brennan Lacey in that 00 will start in fourth. Stephen Goldner going to start fifth. Steven Spees going to start in sixth. Slick Justin Sick going to roll off in seventh, and Chris Steele going to start in eighth. John Hain going to start in ninth, and Trent Verstraeten going to roll off in that 10th spot. Jesse Isidore going to start 11th, and 12th going to be Bobby Rafferty. 13th going to be Wayne Miller, and 14th Ryan Beagle. Jack Clevenger starts 15th. 16th Connor Ross. Kyle Moonen will start 17th. Brennan Weeks 18th. Kevin Fry and Aiden Young. Dan Blau and John Short will start 21st and 22nd. 23rd will be Preston Cranmer. 24th will be Lance Ripka. And we had a couple alternates here, but unfortunately for the alternates, actually, we do have an alternate on the track, and I'm not sure who didn't make it, but I have good news for you, J Money. I have great news for you. Chase Hess is here in the 767 as an alternate because he just missed out in that he finished in 9th position, but he is currently gridded up at the back of this field, so I'm not sure if who missed the field, but those alternates are being used. So
Yeah, no, it looks like Slick Justin Sick is not making it. I don't know. He's in the pits, so maybe an issue is going to miss the start at the very least here.
And we're going to do a couple more pace laps here. We're going to do a gentleman's start. So this is not a green flag technically yet, as these drivers are doing a tribute lap here. This is for Grady Chandler. This is the Racing for Grady 150, and this tribute lap right here is for him. We're doing this for you, man. I hope you're watching, and I hope you're having a great time watching this. And this is a great cause, the Racing for Grady through the Steve King Foundation. And we want to thank everybody, all of our partners, everybody watching, and everybody who has donated. We want to thank you truly for being a part of this. And we see Brennan Lacey up front here doing those tribute laps in that 00 car. And that is the tribute paint scheme for Grady Chandler. Brennan Lacey rocking that awesome 00, that very handsome livery on that car.
Livery? You can't use that word. These are dirt boys, man. They don't know. Livery? I don't eat liver.
It's a slick rap. is what it
There
is.
you go. That's a little better. Nice paint you got there, son. We don't
Well, I tell
like
you
calling
what.
it like that.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to slot back in here, and Brendan Lacey, these tribute laps are a very powerful moment, and we want to thank again everybody who has worked together to bring this this whole foundation, bring this race, this broadcast together, and has been some great racing. And I'm looking forward to this 150 laps of a main feature racing here as these tribute laps for Grady Chandler. And for those of you who missed that interview or didn't catch it in its entirety, we will drop a link if it hasn't already been put there, and you will be able to see that interview in its entirety, except we do ask that you wait until after the race to watch that, because we've got 150 laps of good racing up ahead, so we don't want to miss any bit of that. Still working this pace laps here as we get ready to go racing at Volusia County. Brendan Lacey, as you can see, these tribute laps out front in front of this field. These drivers have got to be getting hungry, getting ready to race, and a little bit of pressure for Brendan Lacey. J Money, he's out there, doing the tribute laps. There's a lot of weight on his shoulders there, running that tribute scheme and being out in front of this field doing these tribute laps, because in just a lap or so, he's going to have to slot back in line and go racing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a moment like that. And I always feel like when I'm a part of something like that, if it's got a target on my back, but I put it on myself, and then, I usually end up over driving it. But we've been watching Brendan Lacey here this whole time, this whole weekend, and we know that he's the man to do a good job with. He can take that weight. We've seen how fast he is. We've seen him running up front this whole time. So definitely an awesome guy from another Oklahoma boy to be representing here. So this is cool stuff.
Very cool stuff indeed. So, getting ready here, it looks like, to slot back in line. Brendan Lacey going way high in turn 4, and he is going to drop back into that 4th position. That is where he is slotted to start. So just one more time, it looks like this will be the last time before we go racing here for this big Racing for Grady 150 about to go green. Rob Shaw, Kyle Parker, Brendan Lacey, Jeff Barker, Stephen Goldner, Stephen Spees, your top 6. That will be your first 3 rows as they take the green flag. And I am really excited, Jay Money. We're about to go dirt racing, and this is like the Coke 600 or something of dirt racing, because 150 laps is a long way. Let's see how long it takes. Green flag in the air. We are racing at Volusia, and Rob Shaw with a great jump on the inside there. This whole field going to go piling down into turn 1, and we're already 3 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide, and I think we're still going to be digging after this. I'll tell you what. Turn 3 right here, getting real full, and these guys are already shouldering each other. You got to be careful, man. You don't want to bend it up just yet. But here we are doing a real good job. Look how close these guys are. They're pinching everyone down on the inside lane coming through 1 and 2, and that's a pretty smart move early on. That way they're not able to get the momentum. They're not able to get up off the bottom. So it really lets the guys on the outside, while this track is still kind of young, to really defend that spot.
And I'm looking through this field, and every single one of these drivers is battling hard for position. Nobody wants to give up. A little bit up front, though.
Yeah,
Brendan Lacey.
Yeah, I got a little fender there. He had to straighten it back out. Lost a little bit of momentum, but they're already rubbing again. Someone's going to go around here. That might be Brandon Weeks, I believe. Oh, big crash that time, though. That's going to be the 122 of Brendan Weeks. He might be Dunsky. It's looking like he's having... Yeah, he has broke the right front, and he's going to have to limp that thing to the pits here.
Yeah, some heavy damage there to Brendan Weeks in that number 22 car, or 12 car, I'm sorry. He went down. Looks like he made a little contact there with Jack Clevenger. Then the 21 came barreling in, and he went for a tumble over there in 3. And I tell you what, Jay Money, that's unfortunate for him, because I think that night is done for him.
Yeah, no, that was some serious heavy damage, and Not really sure, like the hit. I'm not sure the hit when it happened, but it definitely. It looks like it was a shot from the rear end that really upset everything on that car. That's what he has broke something on it. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think
Probably
he's
tore
done.
that rear end straight out of it. I don't know, but already just 12 laps in, and one of them will bite the dust. Unfortunately, it's going to be that number 12 car. And very, very unfortunate for Brennan Weeks there as he gets that damage. But Steven Goldner in that 30 car, I'm not sure if he was involved in that as well. But remember, Steven Goldner started in the 5th position. He is back now to 23rd. So I don't know, heavy damage if he came down pit road to fix something, not sure. But he is at the back of this field. But I tell you what, Jay Money, lights are out on the pace car truck. Truck.
Still at it? You've been practicing all day. I woke you up at 4 this morning.
Still can't get it. The pace truck about to go down pit road. It's going to be Kyle Parker, Rob Shaw, Steven Spies, and Brennan Lacey, your top 4. And green flag in the air. We are racing here at Volusia. And nice jump off the front. That's Kyle Parker in the 013 car. The rest of these field, though, is double file as they try to shuffle around for position. Down into 3. We're like 3 wide back here in the middle of this field.
Yeah.
For a split second. As they go down into 1, they are racing hard back here. Jack Clevenger, the 515, that's Jesse Isidore, and the 44 of Connor Ross. All these drivers back here in a big thicket. That's what you call it, a thicket, a bushy thicket.
I think it's a murder of big blocks. That's what we got back here. And I was at first I was a little concerned why no one was going to that outside as much as we'd been seeing before, and it might be that the setup's different. They got a full gas tank of fuel, the weight's a little differently, so I think that's what's allowing them to roll that bottom center a little bit better than what they were in those heat races earlier this weekend.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Remember, that extra bit of fuel will change the entire dynamics.
Oh, Justin Slick.
Oh.
He was able to make the race, but he's going to take it off the wall and collect up a handful of cars, a gaggle of cars end up going around here. Let's see here. That might have started with Lance Ripka.
That was Jack Clevenger as well. And who is all of this over here? That's Justin Sick involved, Jack Clevenger, and Lance Ripka. Yeah, those 3 drivers with heavy damage in turn 1. I got to say, though, these dirt mods are pretty resilient. You have seen some of these cars take a tumble and keep on driving. So it may not drive as good as it did before, but it's still driving. So looking at Lance Ripka back there, he took a pretty solid hit, but he is still out on track turning laps. Jack Clevenger, unfortunately, sitting in the pits. I don't know if the car will be able to be fixed because he went for quite a tumble and also took a hard hit there.
You know, it's not good when you can see the radiator in these things. The front end missing on that car on the 78 there, so Jack Clevenger could be DOA on this one.
Well, it's never good, too, with that tumble he took. It's never good when you can see the driver through the roof.
Yeah.
So lights are still on the pace car. We're hoping to double them back up here and go racing yet again. And Kyle Parker, your leader, Rob Shaw in second, Brennan Lacey in third, John Hine in fourth, and then Steven Spies in fifth. Trent Verstraeten up to sixth from his 10th starting spot. Wayne Miller up to seventh from 13th. Jeffrey Barker in 8th. 9th is Chris Steele. And rounding out the top 10, going to be Ryan Beagle. I don't know why I said Chris, because Chris is right above him. Chris Steele in 9th. Ryan Beagle in 10th. Now, we are doubled back up, getting ready to go racing here, J Money. We're only 20 laps in. Oh, still a long way to go.
Oh, yeah. No, we got a few laps to go here, so it's getting down to a nitpicking time.
Yeah. Still only 130 to go. Green flag in the air. We are racing at Volusia. And Kyle Parker again gets that great jump off the inside. Here comes Brennan Lacey to the bottom. He is to the inside there, the 519 of Rob Shaw. And here comes Steven Spies in the 55 with a good run down the back straightaway.
I tell you what, look for Spees to really open this up. If he gets a lot of momentum, he's one of the guys that's really been making this bottom work kind of all weekend long, even when that line wasn't fast. We kept seeing that 55 go down there and make something happen. So if he gets a good head of steam, look for him to pick up a couple spots here and really challenge for the lead.
He is slotted in line there in fourth right now, but Kyle Parker has separated himself just a bit from this field, just a little breathing room out front. Then it's Brennan Lacey, Rob Shaw, Steven Spees, and John Hain in the top 5. Bobby Rafferty in that 17 car using the bottom line. He's working his way up through this field. He started in 12th. He is up to at least 9th at the line. So look to him trying to pick up a couple extra spots here as well.
I'll tell you what, like what we've been seeing all race long, it's going to be the same thing here, maybe even a little more important to get that track position early. Once this field spreads out, it's going to get harder to hunt down and pass that other guy. And then with the track going off, once the track starts plateauing and getting slicked off, it's just going to be, everything gets harder each lap that you put down. So get those spots while you can.
Well, and I tell you what, it's real easy to go a lap down with this many cars in this long of a race. And if you get put a lap down, it's going to be very difficult to get it back. Not saying it's game over right out of the gates, but it certainly makes the game a lot harder to play if you're racing a lap down. So you don't want to go a lap down. You want to stay on the lead lap. You want to stay in touch do we have a car around over here?
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. That was the 513 of Jeff Barker, I believe, who got real sideways. I thought that maybe he was going to crash there into the wall.
Nah, that's just dirt racing. You asphalt boys, you get all scared.
Well, you touch somebody in asphalt race and they go for quite the ride. Apparently, you can really rough somebody up here on dirt and it's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, that's true. Just like your day one lesson where I try to drive through you.
That's a hard one to pass, but
yeah.
So you know what, J Money? We are talking about this setup shops and how we need to try to work around making you better. Now, we heard from them. What about the Macconi setup shop? The Macconi setup shop, they may be their setups, but they're your victories. Our commitment to providing high-quality setups at an affordable price has remained since our founding and drives the company to this day. They strive to build a personal relationship with each and every customer and have an open door when it comes to communication. And if you have any questions, issues, or concerns, they're more than happy to work with you in solving them. Simply contact them via email, website, or Facebook messages, and they will help you. That's the Macconi Setup Shop. And you want to check them out too, because they're another wonderful partner here. And I wonder how many of these drivers up at the front are using the Macconi setup shops, the Macconi setups, because we've got a lot of drivers that are starting to drive away from this field. Kyle Parker out front as he starts to stretch it out over Brennan Lacey and Rob Shaw. Steven Spees in that 4th position has a bunch of cars behind him. That's the 71 of John Hine, Trent Verstraeten in the 88, Wayne Miller in the 677. Bobby Rafferty up inside the top 10 now. And, well, as I say that, he crosses the line outside in 12th. So something must have happened to Bobby Rafferty. Jesse Isidore is now in the top 10. We'll say that.
Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure what happened to Bobby Rafferty there. We were watching that pack. Oh man, the track starting to come into where I like it, because we were starting to see the bumps, the humps, and the sweeps and the creeps all showing up here as they start slicking this track down.
Well, I tell you what, that's coming a little earlier than I thought it would come. We're only 37 laps into this long race. I kind of thought we were going to get to the bumpy, jumpy stuff around lap 60 or so. So getting there early, this track is bound to be pretty worn out by the time we get to the end of it.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be heads up, real man racing for sure by the time we get to the end of this thing. And that's why track position's important early on, because just like all the drivers have been saying, everyone's really good on a tacky track. So get that track position, because if that track kind of gets out of hand and it's something you're not used to, at least you got that track position to try to defend, rather than trying to gain spots on a track you don't have anything to put some speed together on.
Well, you're right. I mean, anybody could turn a fast lap on a tacky track. It is a little treacherous, tacky. There's, I don't know if you can really bicycle it in iRacing, but I know some of the midgets and stuff, if on a tacky track, they can get real, they can become a handful on a real tacky surface. And but this track is not tacky right now. It is quite drying out, and this track will be quite a different thing once we get to the end of it. We're working lap 40 right now. Kyle Parker still out front. Brennan Lacey in that second position. Then it's Rob Shaw, Steven Spies, and John Hayne, your top 5. But there's no transfer, J-Money. This is the first and only race of this entire event where these drivers don't have to worry about transferring, being in a bubble, working around above a cut line or anything like that. They're just here to race 150 laps straight out.
That's right. First one back is the winner. That's how I like to do it. Nothing crazy and fancy, just good old-fashioned racing. Now, if you've just tuned in, you're probably asking yourself, what are these guys even racing for? I got the info right here. We got a trophy for the overall winner, plus a draw for some great door prizes for these guys, and that's going to be 4 $25 iRacing gift certificates from Coast to Coast Sim Racing, 2 $25 iRacing gift certificates from Icon Sim Sports, 2 $25 iRacing gift certificates from Gambler Motorsports, a $25 gift certificate from ABR Setup Shop, 2 free entries from Scott Hurwitz and Howard Hanna Realty, free setup from Macaroni Setup Shop, and we got a caution out. So let's catch up. What happened here?
That was the 21 of Kevin Fry, who got turned around in front of this pack. It was actually the 07 of Preston Kramer, the 51 of John Short, then the 21 of Kevin Fry came in, and that was Lance Ripka, who came in after. They had to get rolling because they were about to go a lap down under caution. But these drivers, okay, this is going to change things. We're working lap 45. Once we go racing, it'll probably be close to lap 50. That's a third of the way there, but 50 laps is the longest event that we have run so far. The A-Mains last night were 50 laps. The last chance qualifier earlier this evening was 50 laps. So we're at the cusp of what we've run. Everything after this is unknown territory.
Yeah, no, we are pushing, Maximum Overdrive, which was an amazing movie, brilliantly put together, and actually filmed in North Carolina. I didn't know that. I learned that from a millionaire. No big deal. But real quick, let me finish what I was saying before these guys felt like wrecking. All right. Also, what these awesome drivers are got a chance to win, and that's going to be a free wrap car paint from all of the following support companies for this event, and that's going to be Velocity Race Designs, Liption Sprint Wraps, PMD Wraps, and of course NSM Wraps. And so so if you're on iRacing and you didn't try racing in this event, like, you messed up, bub. Like, you got to catch all these G-Force special events. It's awesome. It's a great time, and it's always for a great purpose.
That is true. Green flag back out into the air, and another good jump by Kyle Parker on that inside, right out of the gate like a drag racer. Looked like an NHRA Pro Stock leaving the Christmas tree there as they drop the flag. He is clear by about 5 car lengths as they go down into 3. Then it's Brennan Lacey and Rob Shaw 2x2 for that second position. But here comes Steven Spies on the outside. He wants to use that outside line to steal that third position. And these drivers 3 wide down the back straightaway. Jesse Isidore, the 88 of Trent Verstraeten on the bottom. That is Bobby Rafferty, I believe. 3 wide there for a second. Rafferty kind of coming through this field quick on that bottom line. He has found something that's working for him. That's him, the 677 of Wayne Miller. And Steven Spies now going to drop down to the bottom. He sees that line coming, and he's going to try to make it work for him as well. And back over here, we have got other drivers. We're still battling hard. 3 wide into turn 3, back deep in this field. That's Aiden Young on the high side. Dan Blau, it looked like, Dan Blau, Aiden Young, and Jeffrey Barker were 3 wide going into turn 3. They've settled it out. But Aiden Young using that very, very high line to try to make some progression up through this field, try to get that momentum rolling for him. And right now he has picked off just a few cars up there. See how far he can make it up through this field.
Yeah, so the hardest thing with that high line, and it's been treacherous because the guys that commit to that high line, well, everyone's going to converge on the front stretch. And if the whole field is using that lower line through the turn and then they're automatically pinching you up into the wall, that gets real treacherous. We've seen a lot of guys pinched up into the one hard wall that this track even has. And so you got to be careful. And it's almost like you got to time it. If you know that you're about to get pinched off, I mean, you got a split second. You either gas it if you can, or you got to back out of that throttle to keep from getting destroyed up in there.
It's 100% true. Now, right now, our leader's working through lap traffic. That is Lance Ripka in the 125 car. He has got some damage from that earlier incident, so he is going to stay to the bottom. The leader's going to go around the outside. But, man, we have got quite the gaggle of cars back here in around, it's like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 15th, 19th. Basically, everybody else behind these leaders are 2 and 3 wide battling for position.
Someone wanting to get around Brennan Lacey and get back up front to the lead is Rob Shaw. He's been up front. He lost the lead early on in this race, and he's been up front, but he just can't get enough momentum put together, can't get enough laps to make a pass around Brennan Lacey to get back up there challenging for the leader. But I'll tell you what, Kyle Parker is high, wide, and handsome out here. He is alone in the world of this dirt race. I don't think anyone's got anything that can touch him right now. We'll see what happens when the track starts to change, and you got to get up on that wheel a little bit more, but it's looking like this track is wearing in, and he's only getting faster. I don't know, Kyle Parker might be a big block modified racer in real life, so maybe he's already got a leg up on these guys.
That could be true, but this track will continue to change a lot. And there is something to be said about setting the pace for this race at 150 laps. That is like a 600-mile stock car race. This is a long race for these dirt modifieds. So the car will change a lot. The track will change a lot. So you don't want to use up too much too soon because, look, we're not even at halfway yet. And these drivers, especially Kyle Parker, setting that fast pace, he could be using up those tires. He could be using it up too quick.
Yeah, that's another thing, and we are well into uncharted territory now. And I'll tell you what, this is about when I would be double checking that fuel gauge to make sure I didn't burn through half of my load already. Because I mean, if that's the case, I've got to change up everything I'm doing. Now, of course, when this track really gets slicked off, I'm going to imagine a lot of guys are going to really start pedaling this thing and checking up. Now, we have had a couple cautions to really help out too. This hasn't gone green the whole time up to here. But these guys running the top side, talking about guys like Aiden Young, who we've seen way up there on the top side, always on the pedal. He could be burning through that fuel load a lot faster than what everyone else is.
Yes, he very well may. And with that speed he is setting, I imagine his crew chief, if he has one, is really going through those notes hard and looking at the numbers because there is something to be said about going too fast when you only have so much fuel to make it to the end. And that was a problem in Formula One back in the 80s. Remember, you couldn't refuel there for a while in F1, and you basically had to finish the race on that load of fuel. And there were a couple cars that were designed that were just a bit too fast, and they would run out of fuel with a couple laps to go. So a little bit of strategy that has to be brought into account when you're talking about setting a pace here, because Brennan Lacey now down 2.5 seconds to our leader, Kyle Parker, in that 013 car. And I will say, Kyle Parker, if we continue green flag racing here and he continues on this trajectory that he is on, he will be in lap traffic in just a few moments. And it'll be thick lap traffic once he catches the back of this field because it's thin. This track, the traffic is thin at the front of the field, but it's a very back-heavy field because they're still racing hard back in this field for position. And once our leader catches that, he's going to have to really be careful working his way through.
I'll tell you what, this gaggle we got right here around the top 10, no one's giving anyone any room. Everyone's holding their own lines. It's like 5, more than 5. It's like almost 10 Ryan Newmans out here racing against each other. These guys have clogged this whole track up, and no one's wanting to give an inch. And you'll see, guys, they start grabbing a little bit of momentum, but then they lose it in the next turn, and then the next guy comes in, and the other guy fills that hole in. So a lot of hard racing right here in the middle of the pack. And this is, oh, caution, John Short. This could change up a lot right here. Let's take a look. You got John Short here in the 51. He's going to end up...
Him and Jeff Barker, and then the 21, it looked like, of Kevin Fry went by and clipped him. Some damage to the front of that 51 car. Hopefully not too much damage because John Short was having a decent run in the making there. So we'll see if he can rebound back from that because... it looked like more of an inconvenience than a night ender. Yeah, he may have bent the Nerf bar on that thing, and the steering wheel might be a little crooked, but hey, he's still rolling, and that's good.
Yeah, at least you're rolling. That's a start.
Now, after this race, do you know what John Short's going to need?
A drink?
He's going to need an Epsilon Sprint wrap because that car is going to be all beat up and he's going to need a new wrap for that car. So Epsilon Sprint Wraps creates tailor-made graphics and logos to fit your personal taste with a focus on realistic design. You will look like you drove your local dirt track into iRacing champions. Choose Epsilon Sprint Wraps to get your car looking real sharp for those races. It's like showing up for a race wearing a nice fancy leisure suit or something. You got to look good for the event, and getting your race car in shape is no different. You want that race car to be handsome. And we're going double file back up, J-Money. We're getting ready to go racing here. We're going to restart on lap 73, which is a prime number for those of you who did not know. Kyle Parker going to be starting up front. Rob Shaw going to be in second. Brendan Lacey going to restart third. John Hayne going to start fourth. Bobby Rafferty is having a good run here, starting fifth. We'll see how he does it. Green flag back in the air, and Kyle Parker again got to get that huge jump. He is really controlling these restarts well. The rest of the field, though, balancing it out, man. 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Yeah, this is some gnarly racing right here. I mean, I'm thinking 4. I'm counting 4, maybe 5 wide already. This is your chance. This is your chance to either pick up a few spots or lose a bunch of spots.
That's exactly what they're doing. A lot of shuffling here. Drivers trying to switch lanes, figure out which line is the one they want. Some of these drivers going to the middle, some on the bottom, and a couple rim riders up there at the top. So they're really searching around, J-Money, as this track changes.
Oh, man, you saw right there on board with Bobby Rafferty as he's having to check up. Everyone's barreling into that turn, carrying as much speed as they can, but too many cars in the turn, you're going to have to check up. That's what causes some of that awesome 4 or 5 wide action that we're starting to see here.
Yeah, 4 or 5 wide action indeed. There's still 3 wide down the back straightaway. On the bottom, that's the 30 car of Steven Goldner, and that's Steven Spies in the 55 in the middle. Somebody up the track there. I'm not sure who that was. No caution.
Yeah, no, I don't see anyone. I don't believe anyone has stopped, so that is looking good. We're still rolling here for sure, but these guys are, they're starting to get it sorted out here. We're starting to look good, and Kyle Parker is already starting to edge out again. We see him running away. Brendan Lacey's doing everything he can to keep up with him, but I'll tell you what, I don't think anyone's got anything for Kyle Parker. He's still getting fast. This track is changing. It's slicking off.
Crash over in turn 2. That's the 677 of Wayne Miller upside down on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and he is gone. He is gone. Let's take an instant replay, see what we can see better than that. Oh, he's riding on the car. Oh, no.
Yeah, on the top there, Trent Verstraeten got into the back of him, and that was the 30 of Steven Goldner, who took the 677 of Wayne Miller for a ride down that back straightaway.
Oh, man, that is crazy stuff. Got all linked up there.
Real quick update for you Ryan Beagle fans. Unfortunately, he has retired from this event. Jack Clevenger also unable to finish this event, and Brennan Weeks. Those three drivers are out of this event. Every other driver still out there or trying to make it work in the pits, getting work done. So we'll see how that works out. And I want to give a quick shout out to Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. And I just want you guys to know that they're the #1 family-owned and operated independent broker in the United States. Contact Scott Hurwit at ymail.com. Scott has been a multi-million-dollar commercial and residential real estate agent for years. He can help anyone find an experienced professional realtor anywhere across the country with the experience and the knowledge to ask the right questions to get the best house for the right price. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Check those guys out if you're looking for real estate needs. And J-Money, speaking of real estate needs, all of the real estate that these drivers have earned on the track is been taken away. The yellow flag is going to bunch everybody back up. We're restarting. We're now past halfway. We're working lap 82. It'll be 83 when we take that green flag. So they're going to have to go find more real estate because everybody's bunched back up. And that's bad news for these front guys because these guys behind them really want those spots.
Oh, yeah, everyone's hungry here, and now it's starting to get time to get that last supper in.
Well, green flag back out here. Again, Kyle Parker going to get that start, and really good at those restarts. Kyle Parker's obviously been practicing that because he's like the Ron Hornaday of dirt modifieds, just pops out of the gate like nothing. Brendan Lacey now in second position. Rob Shaw trying to defend that third position there. That's John Hine and Kyle Moonen behind him. Remember, Kyle Moonen won that last chance qualifier. So Kyle Moonen said he wants to have a nice race. He's going to kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. And it's going well for Kyle Moonen in the 24 right now.
I tell you what, I saw Brendan Lacey dive down to the bottom to try to make it happen on that restart lap, but it just wasn't enough to get up to him and slow him down. But we'll see. I mean, he's searching out here. He's trying different stuff, and I think he's got just enough room from the rest of the field to actually try some different stuff. So we'll see what he can do to find some speed out there because, someone's got to think of something for Kyle Parker here. The only thing right now I'm thinking he could be on the hammer so much that maybe he's burning out of fuel a little bit faster than everyone else. I don't know if we've had enough pace laps or caution laps to cool that down or not, but I don't know. I mean, if you're out there by yourself, you're going to be hot heavy on it and burning a little bit more fuel.
You are absolutely right, J Money, but something just happened off of turn 2. That was the 30 car of Steven Goldner got into it with Steven Spies or Trent Verstraeten. I couldn't tell, but he got real sideways. Everybody checked up, and he lost a bunch of positions, but that really wadded the whole field up behind him because everybody had to check up to avoid what they thought was going to be a crash, but it wasn't a crash. They had no yellow flag, so they had to get back on the loud pedal and dig.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing is after you've already packed that thing up and you guys are 5 wide, 8 rows back, that's the hardest thing is everyone's getting back on the throttle different times and you get that slinky mode of everyone trying to get back up to speed. And that's a bummer for that whole back pack there because that's just going to send them, because as you see from about 8th on forward, it's single file. Everyone's just kind of following the leader here. And well, except for Rob Shaw, we see him throwing it down to the bottom. He's still working on getting in front of Brendan Lacey here.
Yeah, Rob Shaw's been trying for basically most of this race. Since he lost the lead, he has been trying to get that back from Brendan Lacey, and he fell back to 3rd right now. And he wants those spots back because, look, when you're riding around in 3rd, it doesn't matter how fast your car is. You always think to yourself, I'm faster than the guy in 2nd. The only thing from keeping me getting the lead is this guy right here. So somebody like Rob Shaw thinks he can win it, so he wants to get up there and try to run down Kyle Parker, but he can't do that with a guy in front of him.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. So one of the awesome door prizes that I want to bring back up and actually ask you what you're thinking here, of course, the free setup from McConey Setup Shop, LLC. Now, if you won that door prize, what dirt track do you feel like you would need a free setup for?
Ooh.
Out of all the dirt tracks.
I would want a free setup for a track that would apply to a lot of tracks. You know what I mean? I want to get a setup for like a 3rd-mile track where I could scale it down to a 1/4 mile. I could scale it up to a 1/2 mile. I want my bang for the buck. I want a setup that's going to go the distance. I don't want to have to. I'm one of those gentleman racers. I just roll the car off the trailer and then look at it and say, yeah, it should be good. Put some new tires on it. So we're not going to be turning wrenching on a Wednesday night. So, yeah, just give me that. I'll change the gear. We'll just give me a good setup for anywhere.
There you go. So you're looking for a solid baseline. So
Yeah.
there you go. Whoever wins that door prize, there's some ideas for you. If you get stumped and you're not sure exactly what you're looking for, that might be a good idea for you to throw your hat out there. I don't know. They might even have asphalt setups. And I tell you what, I mean, good intermediate setup can always carry you good if you're in an asphalt series. Well, anyway, maybe if you got like late models, you want that solid 1/4 mile short track deal that can always pick up some easy wins on a flat track.
No, you're 100% right. If you're running any competitive high-level oval series, if you get a solid intermediate 1.5 mile setup, you're going to be set for half of the season. So
Yeah.
you run that sucker at Kentucky, Kansas, Chicagoland, Atlanta, Texas, Charlotte,
Right.
Nashville Super Speedway when it eventually comes out.
Yeah. Solid stuff all around.
All right, back at the front of the field, Kyle Parker about 2 seconds up over Brennan Lacey in second. Kyle Moonen has gotten that 3rd position away from Rob Shaw. Rob Shaw starting to fade right now. In fact, he is side by side with Bobby Rafferty. Rafferty wants that 4th position away from Shaw. So Steven Spies now is in that 6th position. John Hayne in 7th. 8th is Trent Verstraeten on the bottom. On the high side is Stephen Goldner, who's come back with that little bit of damage to that blue and white number 30. But we still have a big pile of cars here, led by Aiden Young, the 69, the 21 of Kevin Fry, Justin Sick. That's 10th on back. These drivers are still 2 and 3 wide back here, as the front of the field, though, is a little bit more sophisticated in their single file run. Oh, something happened to Moonen. Or maybe just Bobby Rafferty took it in deep into 3. I thought, looked to me like Kyle Moonen was off the pace, but Rafferty just drove it in hard. He made it stick and tried to get that run off the 4th corner, but couldn't get that engine wound up quick enough. Unfortunately, bogged down a little bit, so he's not going to clear him. They're still battling for that 3rd position here. That's Bobby Rafferty and Kyle Moonen door to door for that 3rd position, as they're all over the back bumper of Brennan Lacey. I don't know if Lacey's starting to plateau on that setup or what, but Kyle Parker is driving off, and here's a slider there by Kyle Moonen. He is going to be able to clear him, but back to the bottom, the crossover by Brennan Lacey going to steal that spot back. On the high side, the 24, Kyle Moonen bouncing like a Dukes of Hazzard car, and on the middle part here is Brennan Lacey looking smooth and slick. On the bottom is going to be Bobby Rafferty. Now 3 wide for that 2nd position.
I tell you what, this is the tightest battle up front we've seen all night. These guys are, the speeds are starting to transfer here. We got some faster guys that are in the later part of this race starting to rear that ugly head up and take some of these spots here. As we see Bobby Rafferty, he got right up into the bumper there, Brennan Lacey. Brennan Lacey's going down there.
Caution,
just as it was heating up here. Oh, that's going to be Jesse Isidore getting into... we saw him bounce off of the 21. Oh, and then he ended up getting way too tight on the inside, getting up into another car.
Yeah, that was the 17 of Dan Blau who took the door hit there from the 515 of Jesse Isidore. Pretty strong contact, but I don't think the tires are going to get messed up or the wheel suspension or anything like that. It was a pretty solid hit. They should both be good to go.
Yeah, no, that was some hard racing for sure.
Now here's a fun fact, J Money. We started 24 cars in this race. We're working lap 109, and only 3 cars have retired. I have to say I'm a little surprised that there's not more attrition in this race, because that LCQ is quite the crazy race there. And you know what else is crazy? Velocity Race Designs. If you're wanting a fresh new look for your favorite dirt car, look no further than Velocity Race Designs. Whether it's a hot new design for your real car or a retro throwback of your hero in the sim, Velocity Race Design has you covered. Velocity is the premier one-stop shop for dirt design work. Don't delay. Race over to Velocity Race Design on Facebook and order yourself a custom paint today, right now. Well, maybe wait till after the broadcast. If you're watching this on TV, you could do it on your phone. But either way, you want to check out Velocity Race Designs. They have got some crazy awesome designs that they do. You want to check them out. If you want to look like a pro on track, your car's got to look slick. So check these guys out.
All right, 40 laps left, and we are getting ready to double them up, rack them back up, and send the cue ball down there to knock them all crazy like.
That's right. Just one more A main to go. We're running 3 back-to-back A mains in a row. This is the last one, third quarter here, third period. Kyle Parker, Brendan Lacey, your front row. Kyle Moon and Bobby Rafferty, your second row. Green flag out in the air, and Bobby Rafferty got a good jump on the outside, but Kyle Parker did not get the jump he usually does. To the bottom goes Brendan Lacey. This is Lacey's opportunity to try to steal this lead.
Oh man, there it is. Oh, he's gonna even edge out the 24 of Moonen to make sure he got that bottom side. They're gonna be door to door on the front stretch. Let's see who can build the speed faster, who can get the momentum and cash in on it.
Ooh, that outside line is going to look like it's maybe working there. It's going to be Kyle Parker on the outside with Bobby Rafferty in tow on that outside line. Brendan Lacey in the 00 still dedicated to that bottom line, and he is hanging tough down on the bottom. He just doesn't have the momentum to jump out front. And they're 4 wide behind them. That was Slick Justin 6, Steven Spees, the 30 car of Steven Goldner. They were real on top of each other there just a lap ago. And this field is still tight as they cross the line.
Yeah, no, everyone's not wanting to give that up again. Oh, man. Who is that? That is the 80, I believe. Maybe the 88 here. Yeah. 88 of Trent. Yeah, you can say that one. And Verstraeten. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but he got knocked around like a ping pong ball there in between all the cars there, but he was able to gather that thing back up.
Man, I tell you what, there is no transfer spot in this race, but they're racing like there is one. The middle part of this field is just absolute chaos right now as they still race 2 and 3 wide around this track, trying to settle the score, trying to figure out where they want. But I tell you what, Rob Shaw has dropped back far. Rob Shaw was up there battling in that top 3, trying to get to the front. He is back to 7th and possibly even farther back than that at the line. Falling back is Rob Shaw, who started this race on the pole.
I tell you what, Rob Shaw might be falling back, but Bobby Rafferty is falling forward. He has now actually got Kyle Parker in his clutches, who we've seen only running away from the field since then. So I don't know if maybe he was either having to cut back some because maybe he was burning up too much gas, or the track is slicked up enough to where it is out of the comfort zone and more in the comfort zone of Bobby Rafferty. Either way, Kyle Parker is not getting that gap in the field like he was earlier in this race.
Well, I tell you what, yesterday we watched Bobby Rafferty do a whole lot of racing, and I tell you what, he had some bad luck early on in his heat race, and he had to race his way through the C main, the B main, into the A main to transfer. He didn't transfer in the first time, so he had to come back a second time, and he had bad luck in the heats again, and he raced through the C, the B, and the A, and this time he transferred through. He is a fast driver. He has a fast car, and he has a lot of experience. He was able to be fast no matter what race he was in yesterday, so he's able to stay on top of the track conditions. And right now, Bobby Rafferty in the second position is the only driver that's been able to hang with Kyle Parker in the 013.
Oh man, yeah, they're doing a real good job here, and all the way from up front, all the way through this field. I mean, as you start going back, you start getting into the 3 wide territory, the 4 wide at times. Everyone's doing a real good job of staying clear of each other with still keeping the aggression up, keeping these moves coming.
Well, the field kind of, there's this thick part in the middle here, and that is the drivers of, say, Aiden Young, Chris Steele, Trent Verstraeten, Justin Sick, Rob Shaw, these drivers all on top of each other. Behind them, though, they've kind of thinned out. I think the drivers towards the tail end of this field are battling various kinds of damage and that. But up at the front right now, Bobby Rafferty to the inside, and Kyle Parker going to drive him all the way down to the wall in turn 1 and 2. I can't imagine that's going to help his momentum. But yeah, Kyle Parker was having none of that, drove him all the way down, and Bobby Rafferty had to check up there. So these two leaders now in front of the rest of the field. Kyle Moonen in third. Brennan Lacey has fallen back to fourth as he is under pressure from John Hain in the 71 car. But up at the front, using that extreme inside line, J-Money, our leaders are going lap after lap on the inside, and Bobby Rafferty trying to get by our leader, Kyle Parker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long he's going to keep working on that backside there. But, there it is, just as I said it. He's going to touch it. And
caution, as there's no caution. He didn't spin around, but there will be now as they're crashing behind him. That is the... Still no caution. That was the 519 of Rob Shaw, who got T-boned on the front straightaway. There is no caution, and that is going to mix things up significantly, J-Money.
I tell you, I could tell by how aggressive he was driving right there. He wasn't one to waste time behind him like that. So Bobby Rafferty went in for it, and the big winner out of that was Kyle Moonen, who was already on the outside, was able to not have to check up when they did, and kept on rolling on by. I'll tell you what, I'd be looking for a huge
payback.
Yeah, huge payback.
Well, I tell you what, he's got a long way to go. Kyle Parker, who is your leader and led so many laps, has now fallen back to the 6th position, and he is now battling with Steven Spies for that 5th position. So he has got to get up there if he wants to pay him back, because Bobby Rafferty has gotten around John Hain for that 3rd position. So put Bobby Rafferty back into 3rd. Kyle Moonen still leading this race, and Brennan Lacey in 2nd. You are right, those two drivers really lucked out in that deal. So if they can get some real estate between themselves and everyone else, they could possibly set themselves up for a good finish here, because no caution in either one of those incidents on the front straightaway. They were able to gather it back up and keep going. So some of these drivers lost tons and tons of ground.
Yeah, no, and I'll tell you what, if Kyle Moonen or Brendan Lacey want a chance to win this thing, they've got to get going. Brandon Rafferty, even though he got kind of mixed up with Kyle Parker there, I feel like he's got the fastest car on the track right now. He is able to move on that thing. As we see, he's even starting to creep up to Brendan Lacey. So Kyle Moonen, man, if you want to finish out these 18 laps strong and get that win, you've got to get rolling out there.
You are 100% correct, because they are coming, and they're coming fast. But we've got a little bit of lap traffic in front of our leaders right now. That's the 677 of Wayne Miller. Wayne Miller, remember, got involved. He was upside down and went for a tumble. He was in the pits. He got carried down the back straightaway on top of another car. It was a whole thing, but he was in the pits for a while fixing some of that damage, and he is back out on track with a damaged vehicle, but he is still turning laps. Got to give him a shout out for not giving up. And Wayne Miller going to go another lap down to our leaders here in just a little bit. But Kyle Moonen, Brennan Lacey, still your top two. But here come John Hain and Bobby Rafferty. These two drivers are on fire, but we have a caution flag out on the track, J-Money.
Oh, and that is going to be Trent Verstraeten, I think, here. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah, Trent Verstraeten sitting in the pits right now. That's not a good sign. So going down the back straightaway, three wide with Aiden Young. He gets turned. Yeah. Oh, big hit up into the outside wall, and he will flip upside down.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate circumstance events.
Well, Trent Verstraeten going to retire from this event immediately, so very unfortunate for him. So that will put 4 cars out of this race. Now, I know you guys are watching ESN right now, but we want to give a shout out to GeForce TV Esports. So join them Monday Night Madness at 9 o'clock Eastern for the the A&J Custom Creations Renegades 360 A Division, and then Wicked Wednesdays feature the Weekend Speedway Race Source Elite 360 Division. Then it's Thursday Night Thunder featuring the Epsilon Sprint Wing, the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds A Division, and we finish the week off with the Spartan Racing Pro Late Models unload their haulers on Friday nights at 8 o'clock. Come out and join us for GeForce TV Esports on YouTube. Go ahead and find them, click subscribe, catch all of the GeForce Racing League action there. So that's GeForce TV Esports on YouTube. You want to check them out. They're the guys that have put this league together and all these great drivers. So check them out as well, as we're going to go lights out on the pace car. J Money, look, we're working lap 140, which means we're about 10 laps to go in this 150 laps. I don't know if these drivers are worried about fuel. I'm thinking about it just a little bit. But Kyle Moonen, Brennan Lacey, your top two. John Hayne and Bobby Rafferty, they were coming quick. They're your second row. Kyle Parker, Steven Spees in that third row. Steve Goldner and Justin Sick, your fourth row. So let's see how this shakes out. Just 10 laps to do it here at Volusia. Green flag in the air. And Kyle Moonen gets a good jump. And here comes Brendan Lacey on the outside. He's going to cross over to the inside in turn one, but I don't think he'll be able to complete that pass as he get pinched off out of two and down the back straightaway.
Oh, man, Brandon Lacey looking on the very inside here. We've seen it where that move can really pick up a position or lose you one. So you got to be careful down there. But Kyle Moonen doing everything he can to defend this thing right now. Oh, caution back out. Kevin Fry involved with that one.
Oh, Kevin Fry up against the wall in turn one. Coming off of four. Fry's racing with Preston Cranmer and gets turned off the nose of Cranmer, and he bounces.
Oh, and unfortunately, I think he... No, it's still good. It looked like he nerfed the right front on that, but it looked like he's good to go now.
Well, that is good news for Kevin Fry. Bad news that he lost all that track position, but good news that he'll be able to continue on. Now, we're getting close to green, white, checkered territory, J Money. It'll be probably about 5 laps or so to go when we restart. Now, if you're up at the front of this field, J Money, if you're Kyle Moonen, if you're Brendan Lacey, do you want to see these late race cautions? Does that give you a chance to kind of click the laps out and only have a few laps, or do you want 10, 20 laps at the end of this race to really get out in front?
I mean, my own experience, there's a whole lot more liabilities for me on a restart. I feel like there's a lot of things I can mess up. If we're just running laps, I feel like I could concentrate, just focus on hitting my marks and being a little more defensive. So I think I'd want green flag laps and just kind of run defensively rather than these restarts, because, I mean, you could get on the gas at the wrong time. You could, someone could get into the back of you. A lot more options to, a lot more things that could screw you up on a restart, I feel like.
I agree with you 100%. I don't want to see these green, white checkers at the end. I want to just race it out because they're stressful, man. You get ready to win the race, and then all of a sudden you got to do it all over again. You could get dumped going into one. You could miss a shift. Anything could happen. We'll see what happens here. We're working lap 145, so it'll be about 5 or 6 laps to go when we take the green flag. So anything after this will basically be a green, white checker. Let's hope they can finish it out, though, with a nice 6 green flag lap run here. Kyle Moonen, Brendan Lacey, John Hayne, Bobby Rafferty, Kyle Parker, your top 5. Pace truck going down pit road, green flag in the air, and we're racing just a couple laps to go here at Volusia. The Racing for Grady 150, and on the bottom, Moonen going to get a good run. Bobby Rafferty on the outside gets shuffled. Here comes John Hayne to the inside. On the outside, it's the 30 car of Stephen Goldner, and he is going to drive it in real deep into turn 3 and 4.
Man, he might have a rocket ship on this front stretch. Let's see what he does. He gets it up on the wall even. Good God almighty.
Boy, they are really driving hard back here. Caution flag back out on the track, and that will be your green, white, checkered situation. That is Justin Sick in the 5 car. Trying to see what happened here. Justin Sick off the nose of the 51 of John Short, and then coming in at the last minute, Lance Ripka piling in, unfortunately for him.
Yeah. That was definitely a racing thing there. He had about 80 cars packed in a 2-foot area.
Things like that are bound to happen when you're in circumstances like that. Now, here's the thing, J Money. This is green-white checkered territory now. So these drivers from here on out going to have to click off 3 perfect laps. They take that green flag lap. They got to come around and see the white one more time around for the checkered. 3 perfect laps is what these drivers are going to have to put out if they want to get this checkered flag run. Now, are you going to see a lot of chaos here? We know that these GWCs, as we like to call them here on ESN, these GWCs tend to cause a lot of chaos on track. So do you think they're going to play nice and fair? Do you think we're going to get through this GWC, or do you think we're going to see 1 or 2 more of these things?
I don't know. I mean, anything can happen. We've seen him kind of go both ways. We've seen him be aggressive, turn a car around, and nothing even happened. And then we've seen, a little rubbing of the bumper, a little hop on the wheel, and then, we get a caution come out. So I don't think it's so much on them per se. I think it's going to be how iRacing reads what happens. But regardless, I think these guys are going to be throwing hands to get up to the front here.
Well, throwing hands, throwing feet, and they're about to throw some dirt modifieds into turn 1 wide open. Full tilt racing here. And, all right, let me catch my breath here. Lights are out on the pace truck. They are double filed back up for this green-white checkered finish to conclude the racing for Grady 150 here. Kyle Moonen, Brennan Lacey, your front row as they come off of turn number 4. Green flag in the air, and this will decide it right here. Out to the front, Kyle Moonen with a good run. To the bottom goes Brennan Lacey. To the outside, here comes John Hayne and Bobby Rafferty. Kyle Parker now back to the inside. He is going to try to steal that to the inside as they go into turns 3 and 4. White flag in the air. Just one more time around for these drivers, J Money. Just one more time for Kyle Moonen out front. Does Brennan Lacey have anything for him? Kyle Parker's going to slide up the track. To the bottom goes Bobby Rafferty. He's going to try to get a run on John Hayne down into turn 3. I don't think he can make that happen. Off of turn 4, Kyle Moonen will be your winner. Second place going to go to Brennan Lacey. Third will be John Hayne. Fourth, Bobby Rafferty. Top 5 for Kyle Parker. Steven Spees comes home in 6th. Aiden Young, 7th. Stephen Goldner starts in 8th. 9th going to be Kevin Fry. And 10th going to be Chris Steele. And J Money, it looks to me like our big mover of the race going to be Aiden Young. He started in 20th and finished in 7th.
Yeah, I think Kyle Moonen might be the biggest mover.
Because he started 17th.
Yeah, so that's 16 positions. Pretty much coming from the back of this thing. Pretty close.
Well, okay. Think about this, J Money. Kyle Moonen won the last chance qualifier to make it in this race. So he wasn't even guaranteed to start in this race.
Oh my God. You're right. He's raced every race they've
he
had.
Raced all day yesterday, all day today. Every race event that we have held, Kyle Moonen has been in it, and he finally comes home with this win. Let me see if I can track down our race winner. We've got 3 drivers we're going to talk to here. We'll wait for these drivers to work their way up. Kyle Moonen now in the waiting room. Let's get him up here. Kyle Moonen, I talked to you earlier when you won the last chance qualifier, and I said, hey, hopefully we'll talk to you later. Well, it's later, and here you are, man. You just won the racing for Grady 150.
I know, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. I felt pretty good really having, 150 laps and some time to get up there. I can't believe it, to be honest with you. It's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, look, you are our biggest mover of the race. You started in 17th and you finished in 1st. But not only that, you had to race all day earlier today to get into this race, and you had to race all day yesterday to get into today's race. So you did 2 solid days of racing to get here. You probably did more laps than any other driver. And I got to say, I think it has paid off. I know that well, let me ask you this, Kyle. Do you like doing all the extra racing, or would you like to just transfer straight over after the heat?
I prefer to transfer right over, to be honest with you. But then again, it makes it kind of fun and interesting, starting in the back.
I tell you what, Kyle, you were playing the game on hard. Everybody else was playing it on medium, but you were playing it on hard because you did have to do a lot more racing, and that car had the run. What point in the race did you realize you had a shot to win it? Like, you started deep in this field, man. So at what point did you realize, like, hey, I think I got this thing under control. I could win it.
I knew I had a chance once I got in the top 5. It was, mostly just making it to that point, because from there back, you got guys 2, 3, 4 wide sometimes, everyone racing for position. The track wasn't that slick there at the beginning, so everyone was kind of about the same speed, which makes it tougher to pass. Guys run closer, and I knew then, and once I got up in third, I think it was, and I saw the leaders racing hard. I was hoping I could run them down with them, racing side by side, and then they kind of got together there and kind of hurt both of them, but right place at the right time, I guess.
Hey, man, it worked out for you. So my big question for you, Kyle, do you have any shout-outs? You have anybody you want to thank? Victory Lane here at the Racing for Grady 150. You got some TV time, man. You earned it tonight.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast. It's been a long couple days for you guys too. Roger, Preston, everyone else that helps put this deal on, the Racing for Grady 150. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and can't thank those guys enough. I'm sure they've had a lot of work into this the last month or so. So definitely a shout out to them and everyone at Vanderbilt. We have a good time, and we had fun tonight. It was cool to get Brennan second. To be honest, he was actually kind of the one I was rooting for. Being from Oklahoma, and I know he wanted to win this pretty bad, but can't got to race them all the same. So, but he ended up second, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, good finish for him as well, but a great finish for you, Kyle. Great job here tonight and yesterday, and every event we did, you showed out and you came out on top. Really happy for you. Congratulations, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
That is Kyle Moonen, your winner, big winner here tonight. I've got our second place driver, Brennan Lacey. Let's get him up here. Brennan Lacey, you got me?
Sir.
Brennan, you did quite a bit of driving. I was just talking to our race winner, Kyle Moonen, and I told him you raced all day yesterday and earlier today to try to get into this. Now, you fared out just a little bit luckier. You had to race 2 events yesterday to get into this race. You were able to transfer in last night at the last moment, so you didn't have to run the LCQ. So how did you feel going into this race? Did you think you had this car to win? Or with that 150-lap endurance race, were you just trying to see what came at you?
150 laps, you look at that on dirt, and that's pretty much uncalled for, It was a special race, and it's as soon as you set up, you're not going to be really thinking about anything until about last 20. And, I was running second, and Parker's got a 3-second lead on me, and I'm sitting there like I'm running the same line as him. He's going this fast. I don't know how he's pulling me, and everybody else is running the same speed. I didn't understand it. And then, of course, coming from the LCQ, started like 16th, I think. He's just like, yeah, I'm going here, 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 and here. And he's trying to tell me, like, I'm trying that, and I'm going nowhere. And then finally, once he got past me, I was able to follow him a little bit. But, 150 laps, you really just got to save it. Especially with one quick repair, we only have that one, and being able to start up front was huge, and the big thing I also was actually kind of happy about is we ran more green than we did caution, so I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah, we did a great job of keeping this green flag racing. I was kind of worried after the LCQ, and we saw how much carnage happened in that race. I was a little concerned it would carry over to this race, but everyone was fairly patient tonight. We saw a couple little fender benders, if you call them that. These cars don't have fenders, but fender benders nonetheless, Brennan. But you were driving that Racing for Grady, the tribute paint scheme. And I was saying before the race, did that add any extra pressure for you to try to do well, or was it the same old for you behind the wheel?
Going into it, I sent Roger a message before all of it, and I was like, I want to run this paint. I want to do it for him, being from the same home state as him. I want to do it for him and see what we can actually do. Just make him proud, make the family proud, see if we can raise some more money for him. And starting out last night, qualified on the pole, the heat, won the heat, started on the pole, the feature, and was practically almost there, 8 laps left, and got in that racing deal. But second race, I was able to win it. So I know I was front of both races. I knew I was confident. My heats, I was in the front. I was like, tonight it's just going to be all about patience and where you're going to run. And luckily enough, I was only fell back to third. So I was able to stay up front out of the cautions and actually put a good show on. And there at the end, I was telling Moon, I was like, if you win this thing, you're the teammate. I'm happy for you. He said, I'm just really trying to get this thing on for Grady, and I'm glad I could do it for him.
That is awesome. And Brennan, do you have any shout outs you want to give here on ESN before I cut you loose? This second place finish, I know it's not the win, but it's got to feel like a win with the cause you're racing for and how well you did.
Yeah, absolutely. I just got a big shout out to Vanderbilt Race Cars. Them boys are phenomenal. Jesse and Fitzy, Schultz, Goldner, Moonin with the win tonight. That was huge for him. I'm glad he got that done. Lane Snook, JP Paulson, and another big shout out to Ross Carretta. He does phenomenal work. Was able to get this paint done for me, and highly suggest him for anything you need. He'll quick turnaround and really good paints.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brennan Lacey. Congratulations on that second place finish, and we'll see you soon, man.
Thank you. I appreciate the broadcast as well, boys.
Thank you very much. Brennan Lacey, your second place finisher. We got one more person to talk to here. That's our third place finisher, John Hain. You got me, bud?
Yes, sir, I do.
Man, you had a good run here tonight. You had to really kind of battle your way through. And from your perspective through the rock screen of that number 71 car, what did you experience? What was the hardest part of this race for you?
Well, I kind of felt like they put me on a jumpy truck track, one of those off-road tracks. It was bumpy and slick, and I found something about halfway through the race where I was just driving straight through the bumps, but letting it roll and not really getting the car sideways. And when I started doing that, the old 71 came to life there. I was started going forward at that point.
Now, yesterday when you were racing in those consolation races trying to make your way through here, did you think that you would be running in the top three here? Because this field was so tight. I mean, the whole field was separated by less than a second. So in terms of short track racing, that's super, super tight. Did you feel like everybody had a shot to win this, or were you confident coming into this 150 lap main?
There's a little bit of luck there, and I had to have some things fall in my way. And when I came in, I mean, this was it's a crapshoot with these guys because this league is stacked from top to bottom like that. So my goal is to kind of keep it clean and have some fun, and mission accomplished.
I'd say mission accomplished indeed, John, because you finished in that third position and you came from ninth to do it. And that's pretty impressive, especially with the amount of cars who even tried to enter this race and make it to the A main. Making it to the A is in itself kind of a victory, but then to finish in the top three, I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah, I'll no doubt about it. I'll have a little bit of an ego. I'll go back down to my team chat and beat my chest a little bit. But I'm gonna tell you, running with Brennan and Bobby and Kyle, is so great to just drive around and guys that you can trust and run like that. And it takes some of the stress out of doing that, actually.
Well, that's true. Having confidence in the drivers around you gives you the opportunity to race with a little bit more confidence yourself because, half of that taking chances thing is making sure you don't get wrecked out. And if you know that guy beside you isn't going to door you intentionally, that certainly helps.
Yeah, absolutely. The funny thing is my expectation started, hey, just want to have fun, keep it clean. But boy, I tell you, that competitive side towards the end, those cautions at the end were killing me because I think I was actually a little faster than the guys in front of me. And boy, I really wanted to see that go green. And it's funny. I was sitting there kind of laughing under one of those cautions going, I got to remember, I'm here to have fun.
Yeah. Hey, when you're in the heat of the moment, though, it's hard, whether it's for charity or for the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Championship, it doesn't matter. If you're coming down to the checker, you're going to race hard. So I totally understand that.
Absolutely.
Well, John, do you have any shout outs you want to give here on ESN? This third place finish is very impressive, and we want you to give the opportunity to thank everybody.
Thank you. I hope Grady and his family were able to watch this. We're thinking about you. I've followed Grady for almost right after his accident happened on Facebook, all the updates and all the things this young man has been through. And he's an inspiration, and I'm proud to be a part of the event. I'd also like to thank my sponsors, Epsilon Sprint Wraps. I encourage everybody to go out to Facebook, look up Epsilon Sprint Wraps, message them, say, hey, I saw that 71, that car's sharp. I want one of those. I promise it's good for, at least for me, it's been at least another 10th on my times. And then finally, I want to thank Brenna over at the cruise shop. We got this whole COVID, we got the vaccines rolling out here. Hopefully we can all get back to traveling soon. If you go to the cruise shop, fw.com, she can send you into the world, anywhere in the world you want to go, whether it be Disney World or Europe or Hawaii, or wherever the heck you want to go. Go out there and check her out, like I said, at the cruise shop, fw.com. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my wife. She puts up with me doing this, and it was her weekend off, and I was tied up with this. So I'm really thankful. I have a really, really understanding wife.
Oh, that is good indeed. But you can go tell your wife you finished third out of all of these drivers that tried to make the A main, and that may just make it worth it for her. John, I want to thank you for your excellent interview, and I want to thank you for that great show you put out there on track. Third place is an excellent job. We can't wait to do another one of these with you guys again.
Absolutely. I watched you guys last night, and man, you guys hit it out of the park with your broadcast. So thank you, and for covering it so well and everything else.
Thank you so much, John. That means a lot.
Hi, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. That is John. Your third place finisher. I don't know why I keep wanting to say he finished in second. He finished in third. J-Money, that's it. It's in the books. The Racing for Grady 150. We did this here yesterday, today, all for this big 150 lap main. We're trying to raise money for Grady Chandler, and using that. Go ahead and find those links. Go ahead and donate that money. Go ahead and reach out. Do what you can to help and support this cause. It's a great cause, and we want to thank all of our partners here. And I'm going to go through them one more time: G-Force Racing League, Spartan Racing, Icon Sim Sports, Coast to Coast Sim Racing, NSM Wraps, Gambler Motorsports, ABR Setup Shop, PMD Wraps, Makoni Setup Shop, Epsilon Sprint Wraps, Howard Hanna Real Estate, Velocity Race Designs, G-Force TV Esports, all of those guys. And we want to thank you guys for being a part of it. And we want to thank you for watching not only tonight, but last night as well. We have had a great time covering this J-Money. We saw a lot of great racing. Do you have any closing words for this incredible event?
One thing, the Coast to Coast Racing Team, we forgot to tell the winners, but that was our job and we totally messed up. But we were supposed to tell the podium that the Coast to Coast Racing Team purchased their shirts for those guys for the Racing for Grady 150. But the big news is, the more important thing.
Well, we technically just told them, because they're going to go watch themselves finish in first, second, or third.
Right.
I know how races are. They'll watch the race.
Yeah, they'll at least watch the end of that. So they got that. The important thing is everyone's still here. Make sure you go pick up one of those shirts from the GeForceRacingLeague.com. The link is in our Facebook. It should be in all the social media ESN pages. So make sure you click on that. Head there, donate, and then get you a shirt. All 100% of those proceeds go to the foundation. Go to the fundraiser. So make sure you're not missing out on that. Man, what an awesome event. I can't wait to pick up the next G-Force special event. Hopefully we can work out a deal. Maybe Roger Craig will let us do a thing where we do all of the special events for these guys. I don't know. We'll see what I don't know what our schedule looks like. We are filming movies now. We're a big deal. We got, we're Hollywood out here. But we'll see what happens. Something like that would be awesome, because this was amazing. Nonstop action, excellent drivers, a good show through and through. I tell you what, you were the one telling me we gotta do this, we have to do it. I gotta just drag my feet and put up with it. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll throw a whole weekend away. Wasn't that at all, man. It was an awesome experience. I'm super glad you talked me into it, and I can't wait. Hopefully we get to do the next one.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. This was a great couple of nights of racing. I love good old-fashioned short track racing. That is my favorite type of racing. And to see these special events, these guys not only doing great racing, but racing for a cause. It's my favorite thing, and we were just able to take part of that. So we want to thank all of you for watching us here. If you guys are new to ESN and you're coming over from G-Force, go ahead and tell those G-Force guys that you love Sugar Steve, you love J Money, you want to see more of us because, you know, we're a dynamic duo. But regardless of if you're new or if you're a hardcore fan, we want to thank you guys for watching this event, the Racing for Grady 150. Check it out online, our archives, and we have yesterday's and today's will be up there so you can watch it at your leisure. If you missed last night's, and thank you for joining. I'm Sugar Steve Roswick. That guy, that's J Money Jason Anderson. We want to thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time right here on ESN. Have a wonderful evening.